Over 4,000 choking-related deaths occur each year, with the very young and the elderly being the most at-risk groups. The key to helping someone survive a choking incident is being able to immediately recognize the signs they are in trouble. These are the most common signs someone is choking. One or both of their hands clutched to the throat. Look of panic, shock, or confusion. Inability to talk or cough. Color changing to blue or gray. If the person can cough forcefully, encourage them to keep coughing. If the person cannot cough or talk, you need to quickly take action and perform abdominal thrusts. For an adult, stand behind the person with one foot slightly in front of the other for balance. Wrap your arms around the waist and tip the person forward slightly. Make a fist and put it just above the person's navel. Grasp your fist with your other hand and press it into their stomach with a quick upward thrust, as if you're trying to lift the person up. Give 5 abdominal thrusts, then check if the blockage is cleared. If it is not cleared, repeat as needed. If the person is pregnant or you cannot get your arms around their stomach, give chest thrust instead. Put your hands at the base of the breastbone. Press hard into the chest with a quick thrust. Perform 5 thrusts and check if the blockage is cleared. If the person becomes unconscious, you will need to begin CPR and contact 911.
My name is Ashley Rodriguez. I'm the City of Los Angeles Department on Disability Public Information Officer. If you or someone you know is experiencing distress after the wildfires, support is available. The LA County Mental Health and Substance Use Services Helpline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That number is 800-854-7771. For those with hearing or speech disabilities, use a preferred relay service or dial 711 and request an interpreter to connect. Services are available in English, Spanish, Korean, Armenian, Vietnamese, and additional languages. Don't hesitate to reach out for help. For more information and resources, visit lacity.gov. Thank you.
Join the City of Los Angeles in celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King at the 40th Annual Kingdom Day Parade. Due to the wildfires, the parade was postponed from MLK Day in January to President's Day on Monday, February 17th. This is the world's largest and longest-running life celebration of Dr. King. The 2025 parade theme is Peace and Unity. Let it start with us. Honor the King legacy and be part of history at this community celebration, which includes marching bands, performances, and cheer squads. Head to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to enjoy the parade, rain or shine. The Kingdom Day Parade takes place on Monday, February 17th, beginning at 10 a.m. For more information, visit kingdomdayparade.org. The City of Los Angeles Recreation and Parks Department and Girls Play LA are helping to nurture love for fitness with an evening of activities for young people on Valentine's Night, Friday, February 14th. If you haven't registered already, get going as this event has limited space for ages 5 to 15. The fun includes basketball, seating volleyball, a glow-in-the-dark cheer dance, a glitter bar, face painting, music, and activities. Join the department and Girls Play LA at State Street Recreation Center for the Valentine's event Love for Fitness on Friday, February 14th at 5 p.m. For more information, see the events tab at laparks.org. The City of LA's Department of Cultural Affairs invites you to Fostering Photo Voice, a group photography exhibition at the Barnsdall Junior Art Center Gallery. Photo Voice is an arts-based empowerment method allowing participants to reflect on their lived experiences and perspectives. This exhibition grew from a UCLA study empowering foster youth using photography and features the work of 6 artists who are all former foster youth. Head to the Barnsdall Junior Art Center Gallery for Fostering Photo Voice on now, Thursday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. through Saturday, March 8th. For more information, visit culture.lacity.gov. And that's a look at some things to do.
Every day, over 100 Americans die from secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke in children can cause asthma, ear infections, and increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Go to smokefreehomesla.com. Learn how you can protect your home from secondhand smoke.
The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, LAHSA, is coordinating the Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count, taking place over 3 nights from February 18th to the 20th. Each year, LAHSA depends on thousands of volunteers to head into their communities to count their unhoused neighbors. According to LAHSA, data collected during the homeless count is an essential component in understanding the nature and scope of homelessness throughout LA County. LAHSA combines the data with the sheltered and youth homeless counts to deliver services where they are most needed. Created in 1993, LASA coordinates and manages programs providing shelter, housing, and services to people experiencing homelessness in the city and county of LA. For more information or to volunteer, visit count.lasa.org. LA City Council has approved council member Eunices Hernandez to spend up to $125,000 to provide greater fire preparedness in Northeast LA neighborhoods. According to Hernandez, several neighborhoods in her district are in high fire hazard severity zones. In the wake of the recent wildfires, the funding will go to the Los Angeles Fire Department and MySafe LA, a local nonprofit organization. LAFD will get $50,000 to expand its Community Emergency Response Team CERT program, which teaches residents how to respond to major disasters. Hernandez will allocate $75,000 to MySafe LA to develop a disaster resiliency plan and conduct multilingual preparedness training in her district. For more information, visit cd1.lacity.gov. Following the first winter storm event, LA City Animal Services reminds pet owners that being prepared for an emergency helps you, your family, and your pets stay safe. LA City Animal Services recommends during inclement weather that you and your pets stay indoors when possible. Make sure your pet is microchipped and wearing a city license tag with up-to-date information in case you're separated. Proper identification will help reunite you with your pet. Train your pet to be comfortable in a portable kennel and create copies of your pet's important documents like medication, vet records, and contact information. Ahead of an emergency, identify a safe place to board your pet in case of evacuation and prepare an emergency kit with supplies to last at least a week. For more tips, visit laanimalservices.com/news.
Over 4,000 choking-related deaths occur each year, with the very young and the elderly being the most at-risk groups. The key to helping someone survive a choking incident is being able to immediately recognize the signs they are in trouble. These are the most common signs someone is choking. One or both of their hands clutched to the throat. Look of panic, shock, or confusion. Inability to talk or cough. Color changing to blue or gray. If the person can cough forcefully, encourage them to keep coughing. If the person cannot cough or talk, you need to quickly take action and perform abdominal thrusts. For an adult, stand behind the person with one foot slightly in front of the other for balance. Wrap your arms around the waist and tip the person forward slightly. Make a fist and put it just above the person's navel. Grasp your fist with your other hand and press it into their stomach with a quick upward thrust, as if you're trying to lift the person up. Give 5 abdominal thrusts, then check if the blockage is cleared. If it is not cleared, repeat as needed. If the person is pregnant or you cannot get your arms around their stomach, give chest thrust instead. Put your hands at the base of the breastbone. Press hard into the chest with a quick thrust. Perform 5 thrusts.
All right, good morning and welcome to the meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is the 14th day of February in the year 2025. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. My name is Marquis Harris Dawson. I serve as president of this council. Public comment will be taken in person in the council chamber for today's meeting. Mr. Clerk, please begin our proceedings by calling the roll.
Blumenfield, Harris Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Harado, Lee, McOsker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of February 12, 2025.
Mr. Price moves, Mr. Blumenfield seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Lee moves, Councilmember Padilla seconds. What's next?
Mr. President, I will run through the agenda.
All right.
Items 1 through 4 are items noticed for public hearing. The Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety recommends to confirm the liens for items 1 through 3. Items 5 through 11 are items for which public hearings have been held. The Personnel and Hiring Committee reports for items 5 through 9 have been submitted and are online within their respective council files. Items 12 through 14 are items for which public hearings have not been held. A corrected report has been submitted for item 13 and is online within its respective council file. The correction fixes a minor error in which it removes previous recommendation number 2, which stated the need to take immediate action per Council Rule 23, which is not the case today, as the item is agendized appropriately, and nor was the intention of the Housing and Homelessness Committee to move that recommendation forward. 10 votes are required for consideration.
All right, without objection, those items are now before us. On the east side of the building, members, are there specials?
Asked that we call 10 and 11 for comment.
All right.
And then have we done anything with 13 yet?
No.
Okay, I need to recuse myself from recommendations 6 and 7.
All right. Councilmember Yaroslavsky asked for a recusal on items 6 and 7.
No, so item 13,
Yes.
the recommendations from the H&H report, items 6 and 7, because I own a duplex and could be considered a mom and pop landlord.
All right. Mr. Price?
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, the city attorney has asked me to recuse myself from item 13 because I am a landlord. Additionally, I'm recusing myself from items 4 and 14 because my wife's employer has worked with those organizations in the past.
All right. 4, 14, and 13?
Correct.
All right. Councilmember Padilla?
Yes, I'd like to call item 3 special for an amending motion.
Item number 3, special for amending motion. Has it been distributed?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lee?
I believe that item 13 has been called special, but I wanted to just make sure that I can make comments and obviously for a separate vote.
Okay. Any other specials on the west side of the room? Councilmember Hernandez?
Thank you, Council President. 13 for comment and to hold it on the desk.
To hold 13 on the desk for
Yes.
comments?
I want to give comments on it and I want to hold it on the desk.
All right, those two things are the same thing, I think.
Okay, then that's fine. The same thing, same thing.
All right, Councilmember Lee?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that, Councilman?
13 special for comments.
Oh,
All right, any other specials? All right, seeing none, seeing no other specials, what else is before us? What's available for us to vote on, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 5 through 9.
All right, items 5 through 9 are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now take up item 10, called special for comments by Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Thank you. Colleagues, today we have the opportunity to make the largest investment in domestic violence services in LA history and take real action to protect survivors, enforce our laws, and expand access to shelter for those fleeing abuse. Last year, 15,851 survivors reached out to domestic violence hotlines seeking shelter, yet only 10% were able to access a safe bed. Meanwhile, LAPD responded to nearly 44,000 domestic violence-related calls, showing just how widespread this crisis is. We also know that 41% of unhoused Angelenos have experienced domestic or intimate partner violence, and that domestic violence remains the leading cause of homelessness for women nationwide. Last year alone, at least 17 Angelenos lost their lives to domestic violence. All of this is unacceptable. Survivors shouldn't have to choose between an abusive home and the streets, but right now too many are forced to do exactly that. With today's vote, we're expanding DV shelter capacity by 13%, beds that will count toward our obligations under the Alliance settlement at half the cost of traditional shelter beds. But just as importantly, we're investing critical services to make sure survivors have real options when they leave an abuser. But we know that services aren't enough alone. Survivors are told that a restraining order will keep them safe, but that's only true if we actually enforce them. California already has strong laws in place to protect survivors, including requirements that firearms be removed from abusers under a restraining order, but too often those laws aren't meaningfully enforced. The Domestic Violence Restraining Order Task Force will change that by bringing together the City Attorney, LAPD, CIFD, and other key partners to make sure that restraining orders actually work as intended and that firearms are removed from abusers before another tragedy occurs. At a time when funding for survivors is under threat in both Washington and Sacramento, LA has the opportunity to lead by example. These two motions show what's possible when we focus on real solutions and commit together to action. I want to thank Abigail Marquez and our team at CIFD who've been relentless in their advocacy for survivors, our DV shelter providers who've done so much for so little for too long, and Pallavi Dewan in the City Attorney's Office and Marie Sadanaga at LAPD who've worked for years to turn good policy ideas into real change. Finally, I want to acknowledge the 6 other women on this council who stood with me in signing the motion that got us here today. 6 of the 7, because we have a new one. Survivors deserve more than words, they deserve action, and today we are proving that when governments work together, we can make a real difference for folks. I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
All right, seeing no other comments on this item, thank you, Councilmember Yaroslavsky. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now take up item 11, called special for comments by Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
These are 10 and 11 together, so speaking on both.
All right, so let's open the roll on that item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
What's next?
Mr. President, the council may now move on to presentations or public comment.
Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an amending motion for item number 13.
All right, has it been circulated, seconded and circulated? Or is it being seconded and circulated?
And circulated in short order.
Okay.
Where's the city attorney?
So we don't read them out loud because...
Councilmember, so if your office introduced an amending motion, the amending motion will be circulated, and this item will need to take public comment. The announcement for the amending motion does not need to be read because the physical motion will be circulated and posted.
Got it. All right, before we go to comments, any other specials, members? Go to presentations, rather. Any other specials? All right, seeing none, we will begin our celebrations and commemorations with Councilmember Soto Martinez of the 13th District.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day today. And thank you so much, Council President, for bringing us forward for this presentation. You know, it is my honor today to take this space and give that space to so many people that come from the labor movement. I think when we do these presentations, we celebrate so many people that have contributed to that work in the city of Los Angeles, but today I want to celebrate someone who contributed to the entire working class movement here in the city of Los Angeles. And so I'm honored to recognize someone who's worked his entire career mostly behind the scenes, but supporting people every single day. And as he prepares to take on an exciting new challenges, I want to take a moment to honor Jim Smith, who is retiring as a political director of Teamsters Local 396. There is a reason, thank you. There is a reason that when I ask the question, who are we? The only appropriate answer is Teamsters. Jim started as a rank and file UPS worker, experiencing firsthand the challenges facing working people, and he helped build worker power from the ground up. Teamsters 396 is an amazing grassroots-led organizing union that I'm very proud to call my friends. Through years of relentless organizing, he rose through the ranks of Local 396, eventually becoming political director, where he played a crucial role in shaping labor policy across the city and state for over 20 years. His work has left a lasting impact across the state, from passing stronger protections at the state level to helping establish Recicla program here in the city of Los Angeles, improving conditions for workers, the environment, and also taxpayers. But Jim isn't your typical Teamster. He's also a proud vegan. He loves music. And when he's not organizing, he is spinning records at one of my favorite bars in District 13, the Blipsy Bar. So if you want to celebrate his retirement, I encourage you all to go see him every Monday night, usually around 10 o'clock is when he gets started. I know it's a school night, but it goes till 2 a.m. But again, you'll be in District 13, where you can catch him behind the scenes, turning tables every single week. And with that, I'm honored to introduce someone else who knows the impact of Jim's work and Teamsters 396 work firsthand. I want to welcome his own new councilwoman, Isabel Jurado.
Thank you, Councilmember Soto Martinez, for that introduction. I am fortunate to be able to call Jim Smith a constituent. Look at how cool he is up there, everybody, super swaggy. I feel proud that my district is home to many change makers who fight to improve the lives of Angelinos every single day. In Jim's case, it's been through the lens of fighting for labor rights to ensure the UPS, sanitation, Genesis logistics workers, and other members of Teamsters Local 396 have strong wages, strong protections, and benefits. You know, Jim's impact spans many campaigns, but he's also mentored many members throughout his tenure and has helped build out the future leadership of the labor movement. I'm looking at you, Sam. And Jim has been pivotal in countless successful campaigns and legislative initiatives that have ultimately improved the lives of many working families across Southern California. As my constituent and as part of the Teamsters, I can attest to Jim's temerity to go up to bat, to stand up and really bring the Teamsters to get behind a good cause, because worker rights are racial justice, and I really appreciate everything that you and the Teamsters have done to support me thus far. And so, you know, we are celebrating our hard-earned wins, and we continue to push for more. And Jim, the dedication and commitment you've had to the Teamsters, Local 396, and the broader labor community are admirable. Congratulations on a well-deserved retirement, and thank you for all you have done for the city of Los Angeles. And now I'd like to introduce Jim Smith, DJJS, who will share a few words. Take it away, Jim.
Thank you, Councilmember Soto Martinez. I'm honored. It's been a great honor to to work in this building, advocating on behalf of the Teamsters, on behalf of workers, and I've had the great pleasure to work with each and every one of you around the Horseshoe. Not all of us agree 100% of the time, but it's been a great honor working with you. I have tremendous respect for what you do, each and every one of you, and hopefully that respect has has been demonstrated in our interactions and in the work that we've done on behalf of working people. And it's going to be difficult to walk away from that, but I'm sure you'll see me around. I'll probably just show up randomly and pull you over to the ropes and just talk about whatever's on my mind, but please bear with me. But anyways, thank you, and keep up the good work. I think the city's heading in a great direction right now with the current council leadership and everyone around this horseshoe. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jim. As you can see behind me, Jim is here supported by members of his family. His mom and siblings and cousins are here, and he's also around much of the Teamsters 396 leadership. But I can speak on behalf of the city and everyone here who is here to celebrate you. Jim, we want to wish you a wonderful retirement. We'll catch you at the Blipsy spinning some records. But on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, I want to present to you this recognition for a well-earned retirement.
Thank you so much. Jim, we have as you all take photos, we've got a handful of speakers on the queue to give words to Jim. Councilmember Padilla.
Well, I want to wish Jim a very, very big congratulations on a very well-earned retirement. You know, to me, you have always been a great partner in accessing everything related to the Teamsters, from your members to where you guys stand on policy. So I'm excited for you. I'm always very excited for folks when they're about to retire. But I also want to make sure that I take some time to congratulate you on the work that you did in this building, specifically for everything related to the Don't Waste LA campaign that we all now know as Recicla. I think it served as a really great example that it's not impossible to mesh jobs in the environment. And I hope that people who worked on that, you know, in the last 15 years are inspired as we move forward in the conversations with the Teamsters of meshing, you know, jobs and technology. If we could do jobs in the environment, we could do jobs in technology. So thank you again for all of your service, all of your partnerships. And I totally remembered, I almost could have forgotten all of your work with Recicla and Don't Waste LA, but I see Lauren in the crowd, and I know she was a big part of that, so kudos to her too. Hi, Lauren. But it really couldn't have happened without you, so thank you again, and I hope you have a blast.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jim, on your retirement. I know you and I first connected both when I served on the Board of Public Works, when you were doing all the work on Recicla, but then subsequently, I think, became closer when we discovered our mutual affection for Morrissey and alternative music, when you were very excited about Morrissey Day. So congratulations. I had no idea about this other little side hustle that you had spinning, but it makes total sense. But you know, there's nothing like music to keep you young and you know, to ensure that your longevity will continue. So congratulations on your retirement, and you know, many good years ahead, spinning lots of vinyl.
Thank you.
Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you, Councilmember Soto Martinez and Jurado, for honoring Jim. Jim, I just wanted to rise and wish you the very best in your retirement. When you first told me that you were retiring, I was shocked because you look so young. But then I realized this is the dream that a unionized job can give you, that you work hard for a few years. You work really hard for a few years, you earn your money, you earn your retirement, and then you get to go off and do what you're passionate about and live a great life. So I learned from you in that moment and hope to emulate you as well. Thank you.
Councilmember Lee.
Jim, you know, in our conversations throughout the years, I think I've told you that both my father with his work at Pan Am Airlines and my father-in-law as a truck driver, they were both Teamsters members, and I've seen what people in your position and like you have done to advocate on their behalf. And I just want to wish you good luck in your future endeavors, and personally thank you for everything you've done to help improve the lives of Teamsters throughout the city of Los Angeles.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Thanks, Jim. I wanted to add my voice to the chorus here. You have been great to work with for many years. You're one of these people who really cares about the issues, and you can tell the passion that you have by the way that you approach the work. I love your musical interest, and I remember when I ran into you, I was so surprised to see you at the Smell when I was dropping my kids were there for a show, and I saw you there. It was great. So good luck with everything, and don't be a stranger around here.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, Jim, on a great career. We're all secretly jealous of you that you get to retire. And while you're still vibrant and cool, it's been such a pleasure to work with you over the years and meeting you through the process of being on the council and sharing our affinity for DJing. I will note, I will crunch you as you're standing between two organizers. I'm still waiting for my booking at Blipsy's to spin records there on Western Avenue. I promise you'll get a good bar tab that night once we do that. But again, it's been such a joy to work with you. You've always been willing to come to our community, talk to our folks, help problem solve when issues are tough, and sort of face the tough issues head on, try to negotiate, try to work out something that works for your members, but also works for the future of the city of Los Angeles. So thank you so much to Council Members Jurado and Soto Martinez, and congratulations, Jim Smith.
Thank you so much, Council President. We will look forward to that DJ battle with El Mero Mero at the Blipsy, but we'll give it up one more time for Jim Smith. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sorry, Jim. Hold tight. Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for advocating. We went through some things in transportation with some of our Teamster members, and you're right there making it happen. I appreciate that kind of advocacy and remembering who the people are. When I was a little kid, the Teamsters were like the biggest thing, right? You wanted to be a Teamster. Those were the big men and women of our transportation. So I just want to thank you for all your work. I'm excited to know about your musical piece, and that when we all come there, it won't be a Brown Act violation. We just gonna dance, all right? Thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Jim. Councilmember Price, Jim, you're so popular. Stay up there.
One more, Jim. I just couldn't let the time pass. I just want to join the crowd and just saying thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment and willingness to talk. I mean, you're always willing to talk. But thanks for making that happen, and good luck in your next chapter. Congratulations.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. Jim, I met you when you all were pushing that fight against the lack of regulation on autonomous vehicles and the jobs that it would take. And we're seeing a lot of those impacts. And I just want to thank you and your membership for standing up during that time, for standing up for not only the city, but the state of California, for your members, so that we don't lose jobs, but also that we hold some of these companies accountable for using our roads. So thank you for the leadership, but for the decades of work that you have. It's going to be really hard. I know that new folks are coming in, but it's going to be really hard to follow your leadership. So thank you so much for everything you've done for the Teamsters, and thank you for your membership for being here, for throwing down for him as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I think that's it. Congratulations, Jim. A big round of applause for Jim Smith and the Teamsters. Appreciate it. Before we go to our next presentation by Councilmember Blumenfield, we have a couple items that we want to take up, and I'll begin with Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I've introduced a motion under Rule 23 that should have been circulated to everyone right now. I respectfully ask for the consideration of this motion requesting that the city attorney seek to halt the acceptance of potentially hazardous soil from being accepted at the Sunshine Canyon landfill. This issue presents an urgent and ongoing threat to public health, environmental safety, and community well-being. Based on new information that has been reported, I believe this warrants an immediate consideration under Rule 23. Given the evolving nature of this issue and concerns raised by environmental and public health experts, it is imperative that we take action on this today. Recent reports, including multiple stories from the LA Times, indicate that the California Department of Toxic Substances Control has found that the ash from home sites burned in wildfires contains enough heavy metals, including brain-damaging lead, to be considered hazardous waste by California standards. The Army Corps of Engineers has acknowledged that testing for asbestos will occur and, if detected, will be remediated, but I maintain that additional testing and verification should occur for other hazardous materials that have been left behind in the 6 inches of soil and ash that is proposed to be sent to landfills. Further, the USACE has acknowledged that they will not be testing what is being left behind on properties, with inference that the 6 inches being scraped and taken off the properties is sufficient to remove all hazardous substances. The acceptance of this material by Republic Services without sufficient oversight is an insult to my community that are located near this landfill. I want to believe that this landfill is capable of handling the debris, but over the past few years, complaints about the landfill have spiked, with over 2,000 complaints in 2024 alone, completely unrelated to this latest issue. That's separate from the reality that this landfill has a history of receiving notices of violations from the local enforcement agency. Now they want the public to believe that they have the capacity to take on debris from the fires, and I have serious doubts on that. The potential impact on the Granada Hills and Sylmar communities demands immediate action by the City Council. A failure to act promptly could result in irreversible harm to our communities, and I ask for your support on this critical item.
All right, and that's been seconded by Councilmember Monica Rigas. Okay, so that item will come before us after public comment, Mr. City Attorney?
So just for clarification, we should vote on the findings now, and for all the council members, it is special one, which I've been told has been circulated. So in addition to the oral findings that were made by Councilmember Lee just now, please take a look at the preamble, the first 3 paragraphs. For members of the public who would like to see special one, that is the Rule 23 motion, I've been informed it is posted on the board. It will also be open for public comment. So, Mr. President, we can vote on the findings now, and then assuming that the findings are made and approved, then we'll take public comment on it, and then council can vote on the substance of the item after public comment.
All right, so with that, the findings on this special are before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, and before we go to Mr. Blumenfield, I'm going to move without objection that we continue item 13 to the 25th of February. Councilmember Lee.
I have an objection to that, Clarence. I don't see, we sent this to committee, I don't see how anything changes. We have a room full of people. I'd like to actually take a vote on that continuance.
All right, so continuing this item is now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate. It already got objected to, so you just vote no with Mr. Lee objected. All right, so we got Mr. Lee and Ms. Councilmember Hernandez who are objecting to the continuation. I am asking that it be continued to February 25th. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote. It has you as a no, Councilmember Rodriguez, up here at least. Yeah. It has you as a no? Is that what you, okay.
Seven ayes, 6 noes.
All right, so let's redo this because we had 2 members who wanted to be registered as noes. Councilmember Hernandez wants to speak on this, so Councilmember Hernandez.
And just
Thank you.
apologies, council member. So because we're not talking about the substance of the item right now, I would just advise that the council member should stick to a discussion about the continuance itself at this time.
Okay. Well, I would ask that we do not move forward this continuance because I have a motion, an amendment forward on this, that I know people, my colleagues, you all have concerns, right? And we can talk about process. You know, it came to the floor, we tried Rule 23, folks objected to that, it went back to committee, it had a committee process, it came out of committee, we got an H&H report in front of us. This whole time, throughout this entire timeline, I've been trying to work with y'all, personally asking my colleagues to tell me what you need, what changes do you want to see? Tell me, give me direction. Because we don't want to see more corporate landlords take over small mom and pops, but we also don't want to see the reverberations of the crises lead to an eviction to homelessness pipeline that we already exist and funnel more people through that. We started off, I know people were like very triggered by the language around eviction moratorium. People were very triggered about rent increases. All of that has been removed from the motion. This is essentially a brand new motion. And what I have the motion here ahead of us for that's why I don't want the continuance, I want to vote on it today, is that we ask the city attorney to prepare and present an ordinance with an urgency clause in furtherance of public interest to avoid forfeiture, limit displacement, and homelessness that prohibits the following evictions to the extent allowed by state and federal laws. Please listen here. If a declaration with documentation of loss of income due to the 2025 fires is provided from February 1st to 2025 to January 31st, 2026, where tenants owe less than 4 months fair market rent, this protection returns to the standard 1 month on February 2026. So I asked the continuance, I'm objecting to the continuance because I'd like to vote on it today because I feel this amendment calls to the concerns that people are talking about around the timeline. We're not talking about a year anymore. We're talking about 4 months FMR. People were also concerned around, well, how do you document? How are we going to make sure that tenants aren't abusing this process? Well, in this amendment, we put in language saying that in the process, you have to submit proof that you've lost income to your landlord. If you do not provide that proof, then you can't benefit from this. This is not that attestation process that we have talked about. I know people had concerns around that. So colleagues, please, let's vote on this today. Let's just get it done today. We've worked together. We've compromised. We're at this place with the amendment of 4 months FMR, and people have to provide proof of financial loss. Please, colleagues, let's not continue this and just get it done today. Please. Thank you.
All right, any other members on this item? All right, Councilmember Padilla.
You know, I have mixed feelings about the continuation. I think a lot of us are ready to vote on it today. I think a lot of us know that we were involved in conversations of a compromise. I have seen the language. It is not what we saw a few weeks ago. So I agree, it has gone through the process. I know my concern, as I'm sure a lot of you also had the same concern, was how are people going to prove that they truly are victims to, the fires? And I think that we've changed the language to include that. I think we've reached out to organizations that are helping us and figuring out what sort of, indexes and proof of loss of income they've shown. So this is one of the situations where I really do feel like we reached a compromise. So for whatever reason, continuing it, I don't think is productive. I don't understand why we don't have it distributed out so that we can always just read it. My understanding is that, what was the excuse again why we are not getting a paper version of it? Because it's going to get read out loud? I haven't heard it read out loud. I heard you read it out loud. So could we please have it read out loud so that everyone can actually read and understand that this truly has been compromised and we have incorporated language related to actually proving that you've been a victim of the fire? I've even heard discussions about, well, why don't we let a month go by and then really see if we can gauge how many people are going to be affected when it comes to their rent due to the fires. But do we really need to wait that month, especially after we compromise? So that's my ask. Can we please have it distributed? Can everybody please look at it and notice that it has changed drastically? If it would have been the original one, I for sure would not have been a yes vote. But I'm comfortable with what we have here today.
Thank you for that, members. And again, I would just close by indicating my discomfort voting on this today. There are substantive changes being proposed now, which is effectively 30 or 40 minutes that before we do a vote. I don't think that's a proper way to pursue big legislation like this, particularly given the audiences that it impacts and the impact that they have had over the past 5 years, given everything that has been done with regard to tenants, evictions, and to landlords, particularly small landlords. That's why I've requested a continuance. If folks are comfortable voting today, please, by all means, vote down my continuance, and we'll vote on it today. But I think it's wiser to take the time to study what's been put before us today. And I know for a fact there are other ideas that folks would like to put forward. Councilmember Hurtado.
Thank you, Council President. Can we take a quick recess?
No.
I'm going to ask that the members of the public, please, I know a lot of people are interested in this item, but we need to be able to hear what the council members are saying. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Councilmember?
Yes, can we please take a recess?
For how long and for what reason?
15 minutes.
Can you say more, please, Councilmember?
So that we all can actually get the language for the amendment. I don't have it before me, and maybe I'm slower and cannot just jumble things in my head, but I do need something written before me before I make this decision. So I would appreciate that. I've seen different things floating around, but I haven't seen the actual new amendment printed and shared. So that's
okay,
fine.
Councilmember, maybe this is a compromise that we can do. We have 3 more presentations that we've got to do this morning. So hopefully in that time, you can get what you need in front of you so that we continue. But I want to continue with the meeting respectfully.
Okay.
I'd like to continue with our proceedings before we do that. And I'll hold the vote on continuance until after our presentations. All right?
Okay, thank you, Council
All right.
President.
Any other speakers on the queue? All right. Councilmember Blumenfield.
And Mr. President, just to clarify, the vote on the objection to the continuance has not been taken.
That's correct.
Yes, come on up. Okay, Mr. President, to begin. Okay.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Great. Thank you, sir. Colleagues, an often overlooked and underappreciated occupation that plays a vital role in the function of our country's economy is the United States postal workers. Today, though, I'd like to spend some time giving some well-deserved recognition to Daniel Carrera Jr. and others like him for being an example of what it means to be a public servant, especially in these days when we have a federal administration that has been disrespecting our public servants. I think it's especially important. Daniel, having retired on January 31st, dedicated over 40 years to his career at the United States Postal Service, enduring long hours, stressful and heavy workload, chilly, cold days, and the intensive heat of our summers in the West San Fernando Valley. He became a fixture in Tarzana for the folks along his route who he got to know for many years. Despite this, Dan set a shining example of public service, positively impacting countless lives, fostering many meaningful friendships, and he left a lasting impression on all who had the opportunity to know him. His son, Aaron, who is here with me today, is a member of my staff, and he told me about his dad's unique charisma, combined with his kindness, attentiveness, and genuine care for his customers that inspires him to serve the public as well as he did. And Aaron, you have served over here in his footsteps and have been an incredible public servant here in the city. Your dad faithfully served the same route for the majority of his career. He witnessed generations of families grow from children to becoming adults to cherish moments of joy and loss. Strengthening his bond with the members of our Tarzana community, he served Council District 3 and our residents very well. It is a well-deserved retirement, but we want to allow Dan to say a few words at this moment.
Thank you. I would just, first of all, would like to thank the council. I would like to thank Bob, my son Ian, and my wife Terry for the recognition I will receive today. I also want to thank my brothers and sisters at Branch 2462 Van Nuys, California, for their hard work and to keep things going as far as a union to keep it strong. And I also want to thank my postmaster, Monica Fleming, Tarzana Post Office, and I'd like to thank all my co-workers for just a great working relationship with everyone. And I couldn't ask for a better bunch of people who do all care about everyone. As far as my customers are concerned, I had 40 years of service, 33 on the same route as like Bob just said right now. I seen kids come home from the hospital when they were born and seen families grow. I was not only just a mailman to everyone, I was a good friend, and whenever someone needed something, I was there for them. So I did plenty of that during my time. Been through the pandemic, been through the Northridge earthquake and stuff like that, and I continued to do my job as I was trained to do. So I just want to thank everyone for this time, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Blumenfield, before you continue, got a few members on the queue, beginning with Councilmember Padilla.
Well, thank you so much for your service. I agree with the opening statement of Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. You know, it's a very strange time, very sad time to see our federal leaders not take serious the work of the federal workforce. And, you know, I can't think of anyone who has ever told me that they don't have an amazing personal relationship with their postman. So thank you again, and make you have a great retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Carrera, I just want to thank you on behalf of all the people of Los Angeles. People like you are absolute diamonds in our community. Not only do you do the service of delivering the mail to us on a consistent basis, no matter what the weather is, no matter what disaster we're going through, that's important and that is the gig. But the more important thing to me and the more touching thing to me is that you're a witness to our lives. So you're there when the congratulatory cards come when a new baby is born. You're there when the cards come congratulating them for graduations, and you see the decorations on the lawn when they graduate, and you see when somebody comes home from the military, from the Marines or the Air Force. You see all of that, and I know it stays up here, and I know that someone can call out an address right now in the middle of the San Fernando Valley, and you can say, Mrs. So-and-so lives there. She has 3 sons. Her husband is a truck driver. Their son is in the military. The other one moved to Arizona, and this one has 2 grandkids. And so there's no replacement for that. No one is with us on a daily basis, outside of our families, frankly. No one is with us on a day-to-day basis, week to week, year to year, month to month, and season to season. So thank you so much for your service, and thank you, Mr. Blumenfield, for recognizing the work of Mr. Carrera.
Thank you. So I'd like to present you this certificate. It is signed by all of the members of the council as well as the mayor. So please accept this as a small token of appreciation and gratitude.
Thank you.
Take it over here.
Another big round of applause. Thank you. Now we will have a very, very special presentation by Councilmember Kern Price of the 9th Council District.
Good morning, colleagues and public. This is an exciting day for you, for us all, as we talk about Central Avenue, the historic Central Avenue. You know, Central Avenue sort of is a hub of Black excellence, where businesses grew, cultures thrived, and the jazz community came into full fruition. But Central Avenue is a lot more than just that. It's about the people, about the presence. Before we begin, I want to honor some of the incredible institutions in CD9 who helped build this legacy.
I'm here at the luxurious 27th Street Bakery. We've been here for almost 60 years. It was a donut shop. My mom went to Jeff High School. So since about 1979, it's been a bakery. I grew up in this neighborhood coming down here to the bakery. And it just means a lot. We're like a community bakery. People come in here who grew up in this area. They're back 30 years later. Their kids live here. Their kids are serviced here. So it means a lot. It's like we feel like we're part of the family in this neighborhood because everyone knows us and we've been blessed to be here for so many years. The sustainability of us is the fact that our pies taste the same from now, from 20 years ago, from 15 years ago. And people tell us, our customers that have been coming here for 15, 20 plus years, they actually tell us that they taste the same. So that's a huge compliment for us to keep it going all these years with the same taste.
Good afternoon. My name is Vernon Stewart, and welcome to Ben Bowie.
We are involved in the community. We do participate in a lot of events and different activities, and we're always focused on community-based needs. So I think that's how we've been able to sustain, and our doors are always open.
We are a community-based organization. We are a family organization. The Bible and prayer is part of this organization. It's just a friendly environment. For years and years, American Legion has always been a support group to the community and all of the members and their children.
We're here at Bowers & Sons Cleaners on historic Central Avenue. We strive to give back to the community in any way that we can, whether it's employment, whether it's advice, whether it's simply assisting with programs in the area, putting on festivals or assisting with festivals, participating in board meetings that involve the community, and especially giving our best to help uplift the community and keep it looking good so that it can become the destination it was back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. This establishment is our legacy. It is our family legacy. My parents, Horace and Alice Bowers, began the business in 1950, and here we are 75 years later going strong. Second generation, and looking forward to possibly the third generation in another 75 years if we're fortunate.
All right, let's give it up to the legacy of CD9. As we come together for African American History Month, we're reminded that history is more than just remembering the past. It's about preserving our stories, honoring our struggles, celebrating our triumphs, and looking forward to the future. At a time when Black erasure is a growing threat, this month underscores the urgent need to educate, empower, and challenge misinformation. Here in District 9, we stand on historic ground. Central Avenue holds a story that too few people know about, a story of fortitude, innovation, and cultural influence that has helped shape Los Angeles. It all began with the Pobladores, made history in 1781, a diverse group of African, indigenous, and Spanish settlers who formed Los Angeles. But the Great Migration really started in 1910, When waves of African Americans left the oppressive South, folks came to Los Angeles drawn by its climate, landscape, economic opportunities, and promise of social freedoms. While they faced discrimination and barriers, they did what Black communities have done always, persevered against the odds. Later this morning, we'll have the honor of hearing from acclaimed historian and heritage conservation consultant, Dr. Allison Rose Jefferson. She's going to take us down Central Avenue to have a better understanding and appreciation of the history that continues to shape our community and inspire the future. For decades, Black Angelenos found it difficult, if not impossible, to settle in most parts of LA due to racist land deed restrictions and redlining. But they refused to be pushed out. Instead, they turned to places like Central Avenue and transformed it into the heartbeat of Black economic and cultural life in Los Angeles and the West Coast. Here, thriving Black-owned businesses once stood as pillars of economic strength. The Blowjet Motor Company, Golden State Mutual Life, Liberty Savings. All these businesses are now only memories. They remain symbols of the dreams and determination that those who refused to let discrimination define their futures. Take the Angelus Funeral Home, designed by legendary architect Paul Williams. Once a beacon of Black enterprise, it's been repurposed now and provides affordable housing to families in need. Organizations like NAACP gathered at the Dunbar Hotel in the 30s and 40s to mobilize and strategize. The Black Panther Party was established on Central Avenue, asserting its power and demanding justice and accountability. And publications headquartered on Central Avenue like the Eagle and the Sentinel for a time, fearlessly exposed injustice, giving voice to the voiceless. Additionally, of course, the sounds of jazz that once echoed through the streets, unapologetically creating a cultural movement that shaped the entire country. But Central Avenue was more than music, culture, and art. It was also a driving force in politics, business, and community engagement. Churches, fraternal organizations, and youth groups all left their marks on Central Avenue. Even as Black Angelenos faced resistance and threats of violence while trying to expand into new neighborhoods, they continued to push forward. Through economic barriers, segregation, and political oppression, Black Angelenos voted and organized and fought for their rightful place. In 1963, there were 3 African-American members of the City Council: Tom Bradley in District 10, Gil Lindsay in District 9, and Billy Mills in District 8. Black voters also ushered in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. Make no mistake, Black history is American history, and today we shine a light on a powerful yet overlooked chapter of our past. Although it's through the courage and resolve of those who came before us, I stand before you, one of 3 Black members of the Los Angeles City Council, serving the 2nd largest city in America. As our community continues to grow and change, I'm proud to represent a district now that's almost 2/3 Latino. This shift is a powerful reminder that no matter how we evolve, we stay connected through our shared history and collective progress. So today I speak with pride, power, and purpose. Today, to honor the legacy of this district and a beloved corridor, to ensure that its impact is never forgotten, and to remind everyone that no presidential administration, no division, no erasure can take away the essence of who we are and who we will be. Now, it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Allison Rose Jefferson, a well-established heritage conservation consultant, to give us a short tour and a deeper dive down Central Avenue. Allison?
Hello to all of our folks here in the audience today, and to the council. Thank you very much, and to Kern Price, thank you very much for inviting me to participate today. All of us, for the most part in this room, are part of the wave of the Great Migration, from the early part of the 20th century to the 1960s. And then there are other folks who are part of the wave of people who have migrated here after the Great Migration. With its beginnings around 1910, the waves of people of African ancestry who moved to Los Angeles to form an influential community helped to shape the character of the growing metropolis, California, and the West. So as the first wave of the Great Migration emerged around the nation, the influence of the African American community during this time reached beyond the city to the state and the nation. As early as 1910, the city became the center of the African American population in California and the West, surpassing San Francisco and Oakland. Most Black migrants moved from southern states to Los Angeles to escape the worst of Jim Crow era anti-Black restrictions, with optimism about their ability to make a better life for themselves, out west. This wave of Southern migrants settled in the multi-ethnic neighborhoods of what today is known as, they first settled in the area of what today is known as Little Tokyo, adjacent to the downtown railroad yards and Central Avenue. As an early symbol of Black progress was the election of Frederick Madison Roberts in 1918 as the first African-American assembly member in California, representing the multi-ethnic district in Los Angeles, eventually stretching down from downtown around East 9th Street, south 3 miles to Slauson. His assembly district included the area where the African American community would continue to expand to over the next few decades into a new multi-ethnic neighborhood in the Central Avenue corridor. The African American population multiplied dramatically from 1910 to 1930, as did the general population in the City of Angels. In the Central Avenue district, while whites made up the majority and the number of ethnic Mexicans and Japanese equaled those of African Americans, culturally and politically, Black Angelenos prominently placed their stamp on the district by the mid-1920s. As they found it difficult to settle in other parts of the city due to racist restrictive land deed clauses and other discriminatory practices, the district became the center of economic and cultural life for Black Angelenos and emerged as a key location in the national civil rights movement. The area would remain the place where most African Americans began life in Los Angeles into the post-World War II decades, where they bought homes, raised families, diligently labored and ran businesses, built social and faith institutions, and cultivated a lively cultural life that included the emergence of West Coast jazz, gospel, and R&B music. While African American business owners were only a small segment of the Black workforce, they assumed an influential role in the community. In Los Angeles, at various stages of the city's history, African American enterprises served as anchors in shaping Black settlement patterns in the Central Avenue corridor and neighborhoods in Watts, West Adams, Venice, and other parts of Los Angeles City and County as the 20th century progressed. African American entrepreneurial ventures that achieved the most success in Los Angeles and around the US included funeral homes, barbershops, beauty salons, health and professional services, insurance companies, and a few newspapers. Some of these businesses you heard Councilmember Price mention earlier in terms of the Central Avenue area. A few more daring strivers who would have probably turned their energies to legitimate commerce if broader avenues would have been available to them, went into what some might view as the alternative economy. So the 1920s to the 1930s, there were several important businesses established and prominent buildings constructed on or not far from Central Avenue, south of the 10 freeway. They boosted the reputation of Black Los Angeles and helped to attract new migrants as well as settlements in this particular neighborhood. In these particular neighborhoods of the Central Avenue corridor. The largest businesses included Blodgett Motor Company, Golden State Mutual Life Insurance Company, Liberty Building and Loan Company, Angelus Funeral Home, and the Dunbar Hospital. Each constructed new buildings by the 1930s. Other prominent buildings constructed included Second Baptist Church, the Colored Young Men's Christian Association building, the Lincoln Theater, the Hudson Liddell building housing healthcare and other professional services, the Elks Hall, and a Los Angeles Public Library branch. The Hotel Somerville, later renamed the Dunbar Hotel, at 42nd Place and Central Avenue, was built in part to host the 1928 National Association for the Advancement of Colored People annual meeting, the organization's first on the Pacific Rim. This Western meeting location signaled the region, and particularly Los Angeles, had moved into the nation's civil rights mainstream. The California Eagle newspaper called what all observers identified as a beautiful hotel, called it a monument to Negro enterprises. The 1920s also so as well, the early 20th century saw ballroom dancing and motion picture, the motion picture industry grow. Black musicians were denied employment in most entertainment establishments, but they were nurtured by African-American operated religious institutions, social organizations, and nightclubs that would make Central Avenue this famous mecca for music and globally legendary for music, and would enhance the prominence globally of particularly the jazz music genre. From the 1920s to 1950s along Central Avenue, from Little Tokyo to Watts, nightclubs dotted the landscape. The club scene moved west with the African-American middle class a little later in the century. The 1930s economic challenges of the Great Depression slowed African-American migration to Los Angeles, but it didn't stop it. In the 1940s, the second wave of the Great Migration coincided with World War II's transformation of the economic and social landscape for Los Angeles citizens in general, and particularly for African Americans, as new employment opportunities eventually became available. Los Angeles persisted as the largest population center in the West, and for the next of African Americans, and for the next 20 years, this was the time when this community experienced its greatest economic advancement. In the 1930s to the 1940s, African Americans continued to face white resistance and threats of violence that limited their residential mobility as they attempted to move to new districts. In this era, Los Angeles black middle class led the nation in initiating lawsuits to eliminate racist, restrictive real estate covenants. The black middle class began an accelerated effort of migration from the Central Avenue district as the 1948 Shelley versus Kramer and 1953 Barlow versus Jackson U.S. Supreme Court decisions were unfolding, solidifying that racial restrictive covenants were unenforceable. These were the first of several legal victories towards abolition of racist restrictions and discrimination in housing and employment that would occur through the 1960s. Some as well, from the 1940s to the 1970s, black Angelenos gained some white political allies and elected officials who considered their concerns. Some successes and new local black leadership, including African American elected officials in the struggle for equality, for racial equality, helped to energize community activism in the community activism into the 1960s. As court cases and new public policies chipped away at discrimination in housing and employment, African Americans began to seek new opportunities in Los Angeles neighborhoods further west and south, and the Central Avenue district's importance began to ebb. Other communities of color, along with the last remaining whites, also moved out of the neighborhoods and suburbs in the 1950s and 60s. With larger numbers, African Americans affected change on many fronts, socially, politically, economically, religiously, and culturally. Since the founding of California and Los Angeles, black men and women have strongly fought for and asserted their civil rights, ingenuity, creativity, and agency to shape their own community and become key shapers of Los Angeles history. As demographic changes in the city of Los Angeles in the years beyond 1980 have occurred, the legacy and contributions of African Americans who were part of the Great Migration and other migratory waves continue as important forces in shaping their own and the city's greater community life, and that of the greater American and global society. So today, as part of efforts to foster foster community building and pride and remembrance of the West Coast jazz, you can take a stroll down Central Avenue and explore the history with the Angels Walk Central Avenue Heritage Trail self-guided walking tour, where you can discover the history and significance of events and citizens and businesses and architecture and culture of Los Angeles's historic hub of African American life from the early 20th century. You can also learn a lot about some of the people who helped to shape Central Avenue in my book, Living the California Dream, African American Leisure Sites During the Jim Crow Era. Even as they were developing these leisure sites, that some of which are outside of the Central Avenue, they lived in the Central Avenue corridor and were the movers and the shakers of the Los Angeles region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jefferson.
Thank you, Doctor. Mr. President, just in the interest of time, I'd like to have our legacy honorees just stand where you are.
All right, stand up, let us see you.
27th Street Bakery, Bowers and Son Cleaners, and the Benjamin J. Bowie American Legion Post. This is
It's good to see.
living
Mr.
history.
Price, did you buy 27th Street baked goods for everybody
Absolutely.
today?
As a matter of fact, we'll have a reception with some goodies right following this event today.
You don't want to miss it. The line outside will be shorter than the line in front of the bakery, so you should get it today. Thank you all so much and congratulations. Mr. Price.
Yes, we also invite folks to come to the Rotunda for a visual display of Central Avenue, past and future, and so we're excited about that. And of course, we couldn't talk about Central Avenue without talking about the Central Avenue Jazz Festival. So we want to invite everyone to come out for the 30th anniversary, 29th
30
Central Avenue
years.
Jazz Festival, September the 20th. Save the date. Be there or be square. But please join us for the walk down Central Avenue. And thank you, Mr. President and council members, for your attention today.
All right, Mr. Price, we got a couple members on the queue, starting with Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Price, and for Dr. Jefferson for reclaiming your time and giving everyone here a history lesson. I'll be very brief. I grew up on, I've said this too many times, Councilmember Price, I grew up on 46th and Central, and so talking about the walk down Central Avenue, I was filled with a lot of nostalgia. That's where my mom and I and my siblings used to walk up and down the street, where the mosque is at, where the Black Panther Party office used to be at, the library, and so it's a street that to this day gives me so much joy. And as a council member, it's been wonderful to go back with you and celebrate that history. The Jazz Festival is incredible. So much that you do is incredible. And I want to say everyone here that's here who has made the street what it is, I want to say thank you. Thank you for having the Black community present. I know it's not as robust as it used to be, but I know that the Black and brown solidarity that exists is because we all live together, we all struggle together. And I think that's why we fight together here on this council. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Soto Martinez. Councilmember Hutt. Yes, Councilmember Hutt.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't hear because of the applause. Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Councilmember Price, for bringing in folks that we know and love. I just want to say personally, my mother's childhood friend was Dr. Allison Jefferson's mother. And so I know the deep roots that she has in this city and how much she loves it and how wonderful it was to hear you talk about a community we grew up in and the small businesses there. My parents had a little tax business off of Central Avenue before the '60 riots. And then as for these wonderful sweets, we hope that they make it to the end of council, but they may not. So we certainly appreciate the wonderful sweets. Black history is American history, and we are always glad to be contributors, especially in a time where other states or school districts are trying to erase our history from our education. But what I want to remind everybody of is that Black people didn't write those history books. We weren't in a position to do that. So we need to continue to carry on our history. We need to remind folks of the contributions, whether it is in business or whether it is in food service. And so I just want to thank you, Mr. Price, for this. Thank you, Mr. President. Happy Black History Month.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Hutt. And just don't forget about the council president when it comes to the pies. It's something I would like to share with you all. But I just want to thank you all for being institutions in our community for as long as you have. I've grown up watching people at the Post and watching the Post members in parades. I've grown up standing in line with my grandmother at 27th Street Bakery and going there for the holidays and other special events. And Dr. Jefferson, I really thank you for documenting your history. It's especially touching to me. I talk about my grandparents a lot because they were the people who decided to pull up and that life would be better if they came to Los Angeles. And my grandfather has a story about having a scholarship to USC but not being able to live anywhere west of Central Avenue and just being so angry about it. And I thought I was going to come here and there wasn't going to be as much racism as there was in the South. And here we are, same situation on Central Avenue. But for him, that turned out to be very, very important, living along Central Avenue, because when he graduated, he thought, I'm going to go into the insurance business, because LA was the insurance capital of the world. He had a USC business degree, and so he marched right down to Wilshire Boulevard to get a job, and he found out, oh, no, the racism isn't quite that over yet. You can't work at any of these companies. And he ended up having his first small business as an insurance office on Central Avenue. And so you telling that story is telling the stories of dozens and hundreds and thousands of families in not just Los Angeles, but around the United States. So thank you so much for your work and your presentations and preserving our history. And thank you, Mr. Price, for being the custodian of the Great Central Avenue for these past dozen years or so, and really lifting the centrality of Central Avenue to the history of the city of Los Angeles. And our first African-American newspaper, published by none other than Carlotta Bass, no relation to our current Mayor Karen Bass. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your kind words and those from the colleagues. Let me just say, I think it's fitting today, Valentine's Day, because I want to honor the district that I love. And so I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we have, before our next presentation, a special announcement and recognition by Councilmember Blumenfield.
Announcer presentation, whatever you call it. So come on over here, David and parents. Colleagues, today we're officially saying farewell to someone who has dedicated nearly 2 decades of public service to Los Angeles, David Giron. Come on over here, Dave. It's hard to sum up what he's done with the city, but one thing is clear: he has helped make Los Angeles a better place. A lot of you got a taste of this when last week or 2 weeks ago, during the Salvadoran Heritage Day, he was asked to make an impromptu speech. And during that speech, he told you all a little bit about his history. Well, today is his last official day here, and his parents are here with him. And he is someone who has had a long journey with this city. He started as an intern, and through sheer dedication, he worked his way up to become a key policy advisor, shaping some of our most transformative legislation, from plastic reduction to clean energy to Indigenous Peoples Day to homelessness policy. He's put his fingerprints on so much. He, as was mentioned before, he's worked in multiple council offices. He started off District 12 with Greg Smith. He then worked in District 5 with Paul Koretz, then District 13 with Mitch O'Farrell, and then he finally graduated to the best district of all, to District 3, where he was really able to, once he had practiced with all these other districts, he got it right. He came to District 3, and he's made a big impact here. As my environment, climate, and energy policy advisor, he's been an invaluable member of the team, tackling renewable energy, water conservation, his signature passion and expertise. His deep knowledge and strategic thinking and relentless commitment to environmental justice has been so instrumental in putting forward policies that benefit Angelenos for many, many generations. And beyond his work, he's just a great guy, a dedicated public servant. He's left his lasting mark on this city, and we are very sad to see him go. But we know that he's going to continue to make an impact wherever he goes, and he's sort of leaving. We're going to keep him on as a contractor to finish out some of his projects that he's been working on with me. But he's going to continue his passion for the environment, for decarbing our world. But he'll be doing it from the private sector, one solar panel at a time. So, David, on behalf of the 3rd District and the entire city family, thank you for your service. We wish you nothing but success, and please accept this token of appreciation.
Big round of applause, Mr. Giron. Thank you so much for your service, and thank you for what you will continue to do. And thank you to the Giron family for sharing with him and preparing him for the work that he's done on behalf of our city. All right, our next presentation will be led by Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Council President. Make sure folks gather. Today, I have the privilege of recognizing someone whose hard work has shaped transformative policies that continue to improve the lives of Angelenos. Many of the laws and tools that we use today here in this horseshoe were created by many people, and today I have someone who helped shape that in a very significant way. As she prepares to close a significant chapter in her life, I want to take this moment to honor the outgoing executive director of ACT LA, Laura Raymond. Laura is not just an incredible organizer and advocate, she's a Measure ULA Citizen Oversight Commissioner, so she comes to this building very often, but most importantly, she's a constituent of District 13. As executive director of ACT LA, she led the coalition through historic wins, including helping to pass Measure ULA and Measure A at the county level just last November, two of the most significant victories for housing and workers' rights in recent memory. The success, yeah, clap that up. I heard some claps. What excites me about those two victories is that the success of these two measures is proof that tenant and labor solidarity is how we can accomplish the transformational changes that this city desperately needs. For decades, if not centuries, these halls of power were influenced by corporations, people with money, time, and most important, and also which are the most wealthy and powerful in our city. Our policies have catered to big corporations over workers. Renter issues have always faced an uphill battle in this building, even though renters make up over 60% of the constituents here in the city of Los Angeles. Now, thanks to the direct organizing of Laura, ACT LA, and this whole movement, the dynamic has finally started to shift in the right direction. We got a lot more work to do. In 2022, voters passed Measure ULA by an overwhelming 15-point margin, showing that there is a strong desire for folks to have social housing, affordable housing, renter protections, and rental assistance. And last fall, Measure A won at the County of Los Angeles by a whopping 30 percentage points. Because of Laura's tireless leadership, renters have gone from being completely overlooked to becoming a clear majority. But we know that there is still so much work left to do to make housing affordable for all Angelenos. And on a personal note, Laura has taught me so much about housing policy, the housing policy landscape, and especially what happens at Sacramento and Washington, D.C. affects our housing policies here in LA. So Laura, even though you may be leaving ACT LA, I know I'll still be hitting you up constantly for more housing issues. So with that, I'm proud to introduce another person that I always bug about housing policy, Councilmember Nithya Raman.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Soto Martinez, and I am just so happy to be here. It's a sad day for ACT LA and a sad day for all of us who've watched housing policy evolve here in the city of Los Angeles, but what a privilege to be able to celebrate you, Laura. ACT LA is also just an incredible organization. It works on housing justice, transit justice. These are two issues I care about deeply, so it's one of those places that I always dreamt about working at someday, honestly. So. Yes, exactly. Well, no, someone's taking over. Solving big problems here in Los Angeles, we've been seeing a lot of headlines, for example, after the fires about how many different groups have stepped up to lead. That's not a bug about Los Angeles. That's a feature of the system that we have. It is a place where power is distributed and decentralized. And so that means to get big things done, you have to be able to bring all of these different people together and to build a successful campaign in a city with 4 million or a county with 10 million. It takes an incredible amount of coalition building to make that happen. And Laura, I have to say, you and the ACT LA team have always had that eye to creating that coalition to be actually able to meld this incredible many-headed hydra together and move it in the right direction. I want to just say that, Councilmember Soto Martinez talked about ULA, talked about Measure A, and the role that you played in getting both of those passed. I want to talk about something earlier, which actually brought me into city policy work here in the city of LA, which was the Measure S campaign. which ACT LA worked to defeat. And Measure S was a ban on all new construction here in the city of Los Angeles, in a city with an enormous housing crisis. And at the same time that she and ACT LA was able to defeat that, they also put forward a program which has now generated the largest new affordable housing and new units across the city of Los Angeles, the Transit-Oriented Communities Program. So these are incredible achievements. So this isn't just a recent thing. This is a history of housing advocacy that has absolutely transformed Los Angeles and the way that we do things here in this city. I think for me, as we are watching you move to your next step, I will be hopefully learning from you in how you manage to bring people together around these issues. And the thing I take inspiration from is that our local renters' rights movement, our local housing justice movement has matured in LA in ways that I have yet to see it mature in other cities. And that's thanks to ACT LA's leadership. Because from the time of the TOC to now, when you spoke up to increase housing production through CHIP and through the housing element that was passed, never in your work have you put renters' rights and housing production against each other. You have always known that those two things, production and protection, need to happen together in order for us to protect renters, to protect people in Los Angeles, to preserve this city's vibrance into the future. So with that, I want to turn it over. Can I turn it over? Yeah. Turn it over to you, Laura, and thank you for all that you have done.
This is such a huge honor. Thank you, Council Members Rahman and Soto Martinez, for those remarks. It has been wonderful to partner with offices so committed to making housing a human right and securing better public transit for Los Angeles. And it's just been an amazing 10 years. I feel very grateful to be part of this city and this community. If you do this type of grassroots work, you know that as one individual, you don't get very far. The power is from the collective, from the coalition. So I really want to share this honor with the whole of the ACT LA coalition. What ACT LA has shown through aligning 49 member organizations and through our ongoing deep partnerships with other coalitions, the labor movement, and other sectors, is that when you bring a lot of disparate groups and people together under a bold vision that inspires action, you can get very big things done. And big initiatives grounded in real community needs and equity are certainly what we need right now given the challenges facing LA. I want to say in particular what an absolute honor it's been to work with the grassroots community organizations that make up ACT LA's membership. These are organizations that in many cases have spent decades firmly rooted in LA's neighborhoods, from Pacoima to Thai Town to Little Tokyo to Boyle Heights, South Central, Koreatown, the West Side, and beyond. And outside the city of LA, unincorporated East LA, Willowbrook, Long Beach. They have been doing community development, know your rights workshops for the immigrant community, incubating small businesses, building affordable housing, and so much other day-to-day work that makes the city more livable and protects these neighborhoods that are a big part of the reason we all love LA. And it's these neighborhood groups that decided long before I got here that as one community group, you can only get so far. But as a coalition, you could impact city and county policy and think bigger. And they formed ACT LA to do just that. And that's where the backbone organizing has come from, to pass Measure JJJ, to stop Measure S, to build a transit justice movement, and among so many other things, win transit ambassadors for Metro, to pass ULA, to help pass Measure A, to start a social housing program, and so on. These campaigns were risks, and they were hard fought and hard won because they weren't playing small. And when we think big and win, the impact is not only materially important to LA residents, it's also that these campaigns help cut through the cynicism. They help people see what is possible through civic involvement and through coalition. And they've expanded our sense of possibility. I take a lot of lessons from our experience with voter engagement on these efforts, both through polling and focus groups, but also countless one-on-one conversations with voters at their doors. Yes, there's skepticism and cynicism, we all know that. But much more than that, what we have encountered was relief that there is a big proposal on the table and that groups they trust were coming to talk to them. This type of work is what LA is hungry for, and it's obviously more important than ever. With LA reeling from unprecedented fires and what's happening in the country with the rollback to basic civil and human rights, and an attack on so much of our work to achieve economic and racial justice. I take heart in this community here. LA has coalitions and progressive leadership that many other cities can only dream of. And I think this is the time for LA to lead the country in bold, innovative solutions to the issues facing so many of our cities. So to wrap up, I want to say thank you to ACT LA members and staff for everything. This honor is really owed to our collective work. And thank you again to LA City Council for this recognition.
Thank you so much, Laura, for your wonderful and powerful words, and you've spoken like a true organizer. And so on behalf of the City of Los Angeles and Councilmember Rahman and I, we'd like to present to you this recognition for all the amazing hard work, and good luck as you transition and you continue to influence the city.
All right, thank you, Mr. Soto Martinez and Councilmember Rahman. We have a speaker on the queue, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, colleagues, Councilmember Soto Martinez and Councilmember Rahman for bringing in Laura. Laura, thank you for your work for the city. I look forward to working with you and bringing a social housing model to the city of Los Angeles that we desperately need, and working with all of you all to make that happen as well. So please don't go too far away, because we're going to need your help on that. Thank you so much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, and thank you to the members who brought this great presentations. We look forward to seeing you on the battlefield in another venue. Thank you so much. All right, that concludes our presentations for this morning. I want to make sure everybody who has amendments has them in, and they've been seconded and distributed so that they can be posted on the board and they can be available for public comment.
And Mr. President, just to confirm the items that were circulated and posted, I have here Special 1 as well as the amendment for item 3.
All right, so we have one amendment for item 3, and we have the Rule 23, the Special 1. Anything else before we start public comment?
And also, Mr. Chair, was the council going to take up the item on the matter, the objection to the continuance of item 13?
I'll withdraw the request to continue without
Understood.
objection. All right? All right, so we're prepared for public comment? All right, we can read the instructions into the record and begin public comment.
Yes. To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment are items 1 through 4, items 12 through 14, and the Rule 23 motion, that is Special 1. So again, the items that are open for public comment are items 1 through 4, items 12 through 14, and the Rule 23 motion, which is noted as Special 1, and it's on the board on your right-hand side of the council chambers. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. A couple more announcements. So please wait until your name is called before lining up on your left-hand side of the council chambers. Once you hear your name called, you do not need to line up in the order in which your name was called. So just as soon as you hear your name called, please feel free to line up on the left-hand side of the council chambers. I will also ask that the interpreters make one more announcement aloud to the room. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so that the interpreters can interpret.
Si requiere traducción para español, por favor, pausen después de cada frase para darle al intérprete la oportunidad de traducir.
Don't worry, we will pause the clock while the interpreter is interpreting, so you'll get the same amount of time as everyone else. Thank you.
Y no se preocupen, les vamos a pausar el tiempo mientras el traductor está hablando, entonces ustedes recibirán la misma cantidad de tiempo que las otras personas. Gracias.
I will now call names for public comment. Joe M., Bobby M., Audit L.A., Daisy, Seba, Ron Harbor, Tyla, Augustine Cabrera, Alayla Anderson, Candace Kent.
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Number one 我是在等待一个女孩，还是在等待沉沦苦海？一段情默默灌溉，没有人去管花谢花开，无法肯定的爱左右摇摆，只好把心酸往深心里塞。我是在等待你的回来，难道只换回一句活该？一个人静静发呆，两个人却有不同无奈。好好的一份爱啊，怎么会慢慢变坏？Item number 2。冷冷的冰雨在脸上胡乱的拍，暖暖的眼泪跟寒雨混成一块，眼前的色彩忽然被掩盖，你的影子无情在身边徘徊，你就像一个刽子手把我出卖，我的心仿佛被刺刀狠狠的在悬崖上的爱，谁会最接受？你就是我一生最痛的意外，冷冷的冰雨在脸上胡乱的拍，暖暖的眼泪跟寒雨混成一块，你的相思情丰富被损在，你的影子深深在把我出卖。Item number 3。我是在等待，还是在等待，情默默灌溉，去管花谢花开，无法肯定爱，它左右摇摆。
Speaker, I've actually just been informed that this is not on topic for item number 3, so I'm going to ask that you stay on topic.
Informed by who? You have been informed by who?
Again, please stick to the items. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was on item number 3. I was on item number 3.
Correct, and I've been informed that that is not on topic. So please stick to the agenda items, but you're welcome to move on to general public comment if you'd like.
Speakers should be aware that Google Translate can pick up what you're saying on the mic.
Okay. I will try again next on Tuesday. Sorry about that. I was not well prepared.
You have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
For the general public comment, I want to. Actually, general public comment is. I want to make sure that our council president recognize that it is very racist that to allow people living on the street. I want to make sure this month is February is a Black History Month, and I want to make sure our council president respect Black History Month, that every single black person in the city of LA, they should be awarded by one big house by our council member. And then in our Black History Month, we should not allow black people to struggle to make their car payment. Every one of those black people should receive a free Lamborghini Ferrari by our council president. This is our Black History Month. Every single black person should be entitled for their free payment retirement without even employed. So everybody, black people, should receive their payment by our council member Harris Dawson. Black Lives Matter!
I'm glad to know you're an advocate of the 40 acres and a mule policy. We have Councilmember Padilla on the roll.
Yes, I'd like to move that council adopt the liens for items 1 and 2.
Okay.
And is there a second?
Second, Councilmember Rodriguez. All right.
And Mr. President, I believe, before the next speaker begins, I believe that there is at least one amendment on item 13.
Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have submitted my signed amendment for 13.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 13.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Council President, for the opportunity to provide my testimony. My name is Layla Anderson. I stand before you as a small housing provider and realtor speaking against item 13. This blanket policy, as it currently amends, resembles the initiative and policies that occurred 5 years ago with the COVID-19's rent freeze and eviction moratorium policies that have disenfranchised homeowners, landlords of colors. The policy crippled housing providers, homeowners, and real estate investors, causing an unreasonable financial burden, and for many, stripped them of their American dream of homeownership and entrepreneurship. With many retired home providers, rental income is their only source of income. Any policy that is approved relating to this matter needs guardrails that provide assistance only for those who show proof of needing this, such as FEMA or unemployment recipient. Additionally, a limit of time needs to be enacted so that we do not experience the years and years of moratorium that was not so long ago. Housing providers are still trying to rebuild from the COVID-19 policies. Implementing a moratorium will cripple us even more. I want to uplift the need for housing providers to have fair rental increase of rents. Utility rates have increased, trash fees are growing, and insurance fees have been drastically increasing due to the recent natural disasters. I urge you, please do not approve this item 13. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. All right. Councilmember Hernandez.
Council President, I have an amendment on item 13.
Okay, has it been circulated and seconded?
I believe so. It's being circulated.
All right, it's being circulated, it's been seconded. It will be posted on the board and available for public comment. All right, we can go to our next speaker.
Before the next speaker comes up, I'd like to announce a couple more names. Candace Kay, Christina Boyer, Daniel Smith, Danny Garfield, Dave Donatelli, Fred Sutton, George Herod, Gloria Martinez, Griselda Lopez, Jeremy Foreman, and Jose Dominguez.
And before the next speaker begins, just to reiterate, so there are 2 amendments on item 13, and they should be available on the board. If not right now, then shortly. So, good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 13 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Good morning, council members. My name is Agustin Cabrera. I'm speaking on behalf of SCOPE, a grassroots organization that has been rooted in South Central and Council District 8 for over 30 years. I urge the council to vote yes without amendments on item 13 because our communities can't afford more delays or compromises. The recent fires have devastated LA. Families who were already struggling with unaffordable rent are now at even greater risk of displacement. Thousands have lost their homes, their jobs, and their sense of stability. Without strong eviction protections, landlords will exploit this crisis, raising rents and pushing tenants out of the neighborhoods they have called home for decades. Recovery from this climate disaster will take years, but our response must be immediate. A vote for item 13 is a vote to keep families housed. It's a vote to prevent rent gouging. It's a vote to protect South LA from mass displacement. And the city must stand with its residents, not with the landlords looking to profit from this disaster. I urge you to vote yes on item 13 without amendments. Our community is watching, and we need action now. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'd like to speak to item 13 and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Danny, and I strongly oppose item 13. In the past hours I've spent here listening to both sides debate this issue, and in the stories we'll hear today, I've heard and we will hear emotional and heartfelt personal stories from both sides. And I truly believe the stories that the tenants on the other side of this issue have shared. That being said, their stories represent issues which the council has already passed laws to address. They are general concerns. These laws just need to be enforced. That being said, I've only heard one side speak to the perspective of long-term policy goals and objectives, the real risk of housing providers leaving this city. If this item passes, City Council will have taken one more step toward making the city unfriendly to business and hostile to housing providers. To pass a blanket moratorium across the entire industry, a bill which means that housing providers are required to work and spend and offer their time and services entirely without payment, again, is a short-term and politically motivated Band-Aid, which would do nothing to help the needs of the vast majority of renters, and nothing to make existing laws work. Instead, item 13 damages the long-term prospects of our city. It's an unfocused weapon intended to punish an entire industry for the existence of its few worst actors. Whatever agendas are in play, I truly believe the most members of the City Council know this. It's easier to pass yet another law to a room full of cheers than to enforce existing policy. If this item passes with anything but the most focused of protections on those who actually prove to need them, it was never intended to just protect those who were fire affected. The tragedy is a cover. This item, as it was originally drafted, is lazy and it is political. Item 13 doesn't help most tenants. It only hurts housing providers. And those two things are not the same.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, I'm speaking to item 13 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Christina Boyer. I'm an attorney at Public Counsel and a member of Keep LA Housed. I live in CD5. I implore you to vote yes on item 13. It's been over a month since wildfires broke out, and tenants have needed and urgently need these protections. There is no moratorium in this motion. There is no rent freeze. There is no blanket policy. There is an affirmative defense in court if a landlord tries to evict someone who can't pay rent due to losing income from the wildfires. The data doesn't lie. Tenants in LA are rent burdened, living paycheck to paycheck, and studies show significant increases in rent prices and displacements after natural disasters. I encourage council to read the recent Economic Roundtable study done for LARSO, which shows while tenants are still barely holding on, landlords were more than able to weather the COVID tenant protections, and what's proposed here is much narrower. Both tenants and landlords come to council with stories. Tenants with stories of losing their shelter, and landlords with stories of maybe really gonna leave the rental market this time because of tenant protections. But the data really only supports what tenants, who make up 2/3 of your constituency, have been advocating for. I don't doubt that there are individual small landlords who are struggling, but I do doubt that tenant protections are antithetical to their wealth building. When tenants thrive, are economically mobile, it's good for everyone. No one wants to see more people homeless. There will not be a perfect policy solution, but we need a solution urgently. People have been evicted who lost their jobs to the fires because of the delay in passing this protection. I am all for rental assistance, but that will become far too late for many who have lost or will lose their homes without this protection. If you don't pass this narrow, crucial motion today, there will be more tenants falling into homelessness. But hey, at least corporate landlords could get an increase on the return by evicting wildfire victims and bringing in higher paying tenants. Vote yes on this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Before the more we have to stop for applause, the less speakers we'll be able to take. Councilmember Park, I think we have an additional amendment. We do. It's being circulated. Okay, it's being circulated and it'll be posted on the bulletin board as soon as it's available so folks can take a look at it and have public comment on it. Next speaker, please.
And Mr. President, I was informed by the CLA that what is now Amendment C to item 13 is already on the board and available for members of the public if they'd like to take a look now. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
13 against, and please be patient because I'm short of breath today.
Go ahead.
I am a landlord, have been a landlord for 35 years, and I think I've been the best landlord anybody can have. We tend to be at the risk of losing affordable units because many people are not paying their rent. The financial strain on housing providers threatens property maintenance, security, and sustainability. What we will have is an economic vacancy. 25% of tenants are behind their rents citywide. And what's happening? They want to gouge between the lawyers and the tenants themselves. They want to gouge us. The district attorney has talked about gouging. And one thing is that they want to gouge us for not $50,000, but now up to $100,000 to $150,000. I have workers that were displaced because of the fires in the 11th district.
General public
And
comment?
you know, they are all working. We need to create jobs. Jobs is what creates progress. And I brought you a happy Valentine's Day for a couple of you in your districts that you need to go clean up because we need to rent those businesses so people can have progress and have jobs to pay their rents. Thank you.
Good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak to?
13, 23, and general public comment.
Just to be clear, so item 13 and the Rule 23 motion, that's the special one?
The new one today.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items first.
I lost my house in Malibu on January 8th to the fires. I'm also a housing provider in the city of Los Angeles with 2 fourplexes. This issue affects me personally. If this ordinance passes, countless tenants who were already late on their January rent before the fires will abuse it. Letters from employers will be falsified. Landlords will have no way to verify those letters. Ask any landlord what happens when you call the HR department of a company to verify employment. You're told they can't talk to you without written authorization from the employee. Which means that in actuality, there will be no burden of proof on the tenants. You're going to cause more harm than good. This is an anti-housing policy. I hope you understand that. I implore you that if you insist on this ordinance, add into it stiff financial and criminal penalties for fraud. Add into it, please, a common sense amendment that says someone who was already delinquent on their January rent before the fires cannot
You've
use
used your 1
this.
minute on item 13. I'm going to ask that you move on to the Rule 23 motion. You can continue during general if you'd like. Go ahead.
Okay. Councilman Lee, I appreciate you. About 23, I'm just hearing about this. Please don't do anything to delay cleanup. It reeks, with all due respect, a little bit of NIMBYism when you're saying not in my landfill. We have the EPA, we have the best experts in the country. They're here right now. With the way things are going, I don't know that the EPA and FEMA will be around in a year, but they're here now on the ground. Let's use them, please, and let them do their work. General public comment, I'll finish. I've suffered an immense
one minute.
loss. mental, emotional, certainly financial. I am not asking the council to rebuild my home. I am asking them not to deprive me of income at this vital time in my and my family's life. There is no evidence of massive job loss. I can show you evidence of my economic hardship. It's a pile of rubble off PCH. Please do not use my personal tragedy and the personal tragedy of thousands of others to advance a political cause against housing providers. That is shameful. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenos días, mi nombre es Griselda López y antes que nada quiero agradecerles el tiempo que se tomen los concejales por escucharnos y vengo a hablar
Un momentito,
sobre-
señora, déjeme interpretarle y por favor digan como dos oraciones a la vez. Good morning, my name is Grisela Lopez, and first of all, I would like to thank council members for taking the time to listen to us today. Continúe.
Ok. Y yo vengo a hablar sobre el tema 13 para comentario público.
I'm speaking on item
general.
3, public comments and general.
El mes pasado, Los Ángeles sufrió un devastador incendio forestal que afectó directamente, indirectamente a miles de angelinos.
In the last weeks, we had a devastating tragedy, meaning the fires here in Los Angeles that has affected a lot of Angelinos tenants.
Y empeoraron aún más las crisis de vivienda y de personas sin hogar. Muchos inquilinos perdieron sus hogares, mientras otros perdieron sus trabajos.
This adds to the crisis that we already have in the city. Many of tenants lost their jobs, others lost their home.
Y sus fuentes de ingresos de la noche a la mañana Y por favor queremos que aprueben la moción 13, es una emergencia que necesitamos la ayuda.
Even though many of the tenants have lost also their income overnight. So I am here to ask you, please vote yes on item 13.
General public comment?
Ahora comentario público general.
Sí, económicamente todos estamos muy mal. Yo ganaba 500 a la semana y ahorita yo no estoy ganando nada. Solo tengo otro trabajo y trabajo solo 2 días. Y yo necesito pagar mi renta, pagar mis biles y todo, pues no tengo ahorita mucho para pagar.
I have been greatly affected. I used to make $500 a week. Now I only work. I have zero income, and I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my bills. So thank you for listening.
Entonces les pido que por favor nos apoyen y apoyen la moción 13. Gracias.
Please support tenants. Please say yes on item 13, motion 13. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 13 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. Will all the housing providers in the room please stand up? Fred Sutton with the California Apartment Association. The state has committed $2.5 billion in relief, and the LA Times recently asked, donations top $650 million, and the question looms, how to best use it for fire recovery? And I think the answer is clear. This body should be focusing on securing direct rental assistance for those in need and are unable to get unemployment benefits. And if that takes several months, that's a real issue with the city and the government apparatus. These dollars should go to these individuals now. Eviction moratoriums are a blunt instrument that should be used rarely, if ever. Yet more and more the city is shifting greater societal issues onto housing providers. No other industry, not even the city, is asking to provide service for free. The city won't even consider stopping franchise hikes or rolling back new fees on housing providers. Yet it now expects them to bear the cost of operating without compensation. Meanwhile, State Farm is requesting an emergency 22% insurance increase. During COVID, there was widespread abuse under self-attestation. Many owners did not recoup those losses like they were promised. The consequences remain ongoing litigation against the city, deterred investment, and continued harm to the city's housing stock. Even with the amendments that I was able to glean, this is far too broad, goes on for far too long, and is too open to abuse. Instead of repeating past mistakes, let's focus on those who truly need it and get them direct rental assistance now. Vote no on this proposal. Thank you.
Before the next
Can I
speaker
please
goes up,
21 seconds?
before the next speaker goes up, I just need to call two more names. Sydney Hobson and Stacey Harris Green, please.
Which items would you like to speak on?
First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, very clear. First of all, first name George, AKA, is this mic all right?
The mic is good, sir.
Very good. I'm Mr. Pancake, a housing organizer with the Los Angeles Community Action Network. I'm going to combine public comment and also alluding to item number 13. I'd like to say happy
You have 1 minute for item
Valentine's
13.
Day to all of the ladies in the house. Here and now, I promise to love faithful only. Hey, that's just a little something right there. All right. First of all, I believe that housing is a human right. Urging the City Council to vote yes on agenda item 13. Let's do the right thing and protect our tenants from evictions. If not, would eventually further our homelessness crisis. I love my city, born and raised here, to the Dunbar Hotel memories on Central Avenue, Current Price. My uncle had a business right there, 58th Drive in Central. Before the old post office, it was a Goodyear tire plant. Good to see you, Marquis Dawson Harris. All right, thank you. Housing is a human right.
Good
Hi there.
afternoon.
I'm here to comment on agenda item 13 and general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin. Go ahead.
I request that City Council votes no on item 13 on this proposed blanket eviction moratorium. I am a housing provider and I have owned a triplex for over 15 years in Northeast Los Angeles. I am one of the faces who are the mom and pop property owners of this city. I do not have the scale, scope, and number of doors that some of the big corporate housing providers have. I provide housing for the people that you are trying to protect. There is pride of ownership to meet, get to know, and house residents of Los Angeles over the years. I take good care of my property and I take good care of my tenants. It's extremely gratifying to provide a clean, safe roof over the heads of the people who need it most. One of my tenants is a couple who lived in my property for over 7 years. We all survived COVID. And during the COVID years, they had a baby. They're good people, and the wife works at a local library. Libraries, as we know, are the building block and foundation.
General public comment.
Libraries, as we know, are the building block and foundation of educating the community. Being a librarian is a noble profession. My tenant comes home every day, almost every day, for lunch to spend time with her little son. My other tenant is a single, nice female who was born and raised in Los Angeles. Her mother lives about 5 miles away, and my tenant has a sweet little dog named Charlie, and she contributes to the economy of this city. We all share a symbiotic relationship. During the Eaton fires of Pasadena, we all watched the property and the heavy windstorms, and we were in touch with each other on a regular basis to provide updates on what was going on, and indeed if we needed to evacuate. There are already enough regulations in place to protect tenants against unlawful and unjust eviction. Because every tenant and housing provider situation is different, eviction protection should be addressed on an as-needed and individual basis.
Morning, sir.
Which items would you like to speak on?
Item 13 and public comments, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. Candido Maris from the slums of Porter Ranch. I started on Van Nuys Boulevard homeless for almost 3 months. But the good people, the nice Jewish community picked me up and gave me the tools to be able to become a property owner. I got my education on Central Avenue, sir. I had 3 businesses on Central between Washington and Adams, and the good people of that area took care of us and nurtured us. So I want to thank them now all these years later. But as a property owner, my last property I had to get rid of because the people, and this gentleman worked for JPL, but he had 4 dogs, and they destroyed the property, over $180,000. I had to sell it. I tried to be a good tenant, but he knew he had me by the cojones because he knew whatever he did, and because he worked for JPL, we were going to have a long lawsuit. Ended up selling that property. Going on public comment. Right now, I have another piece of property. I'm trying to work with the gentleman, but he's insisting that I give him a long-term. I can't give him a long-term rental because I don't know what's happening here in this city. I don't know how I'm going to be restricted. I don't know how you folks are going to control my property. You don't have the right to control my property. I am going to be a fair and decent human being and treat my tenants with dignity. I ask you to treat us as dignified people that came to the city from wherever we're at, and all we're trying to do is make a good living for ourselves and for our children. And again, from the slums of Porter Ranch, listen, don't go up Reseda Boulevard. It's too dangerous. I don't want to see any of you folks hurt. Thank you.
All right, next speaker.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment.
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, council members. John Camara from Tarzana, who has had the privilege of jogging and exercising up Porter Ranch for over 35 years now. Now I fear for my life. The speeding, cars are in excess of 80 miles per hour. People doing donuts in the middle of the street. People throwing objects out of their cars as I travel up Reseda. Give back Porter Ranch, back to the people of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good afternoon. Item 13 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Sidney Hobson. I am here to, I'm a professional musician and a cultural policy consultant residing in Council District 4. I'm also a delegate to the LA County Federation of Labor for the American Federation of Musicians of the United States and Canada, Local 47. And I'm speaking in support of item 13 with these appropriate safeguards as we are debating today. LA's musicians are performers, teachers, and global thought leaders. We are a tightly knit community as well. So when the wildfires unfurled, we jumped into action, quickly producing benefit concerts and organizing aid to support our displaced neighbors and calling on employers such as the major film studios not to abandon Angelenos in our dark hour. Many musicians housed friends, colleagues, perfect strangers, and donated their last spare dollar to fellow industry professionals in their GoFundMe campaigns for having lost their homes and histories in the blazes. Many of these actions have now put several at risk of eviction. But included in the devastation of the fires were performance venues, schools, churches, recording studios, rehearsal spaces, personal storage facilities that musicians still rely on for employment. Several hundred concerts, recording sessions, and industry events were canceled due to evacuation orders and toxic air quality, spurring the loss of several thousands of music jobs, from shows at the Walt Disney Concert Hall to private house concerts in the Palisades to Sunday services employing instrumentalists and singers Canceled employment drove thousands already struggling to keep pace with LA's high rental prices deeper into financial hardship, and it may take upwards of 6 months to heal. Moreover, as anti-woke litmus tests are beginning to unfurl throughout our federal policy apparatus, arts agencies and private foundations are preemptively adopting new guidelines that disqualify grant applications that even include words like diversity or justice. So as rents are rising and employment stagnates, direct funding to artists has become increasingly inaccessible to those whose work challenges far-right aesthetics. So in the wake of these fires, I call on the council again to vote yes on item 13. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Public comment on item 13. My name is Stacy Harris Green. I'm speaking to fight for my tenants as a small housing provider against item 13. This blanket policy will hurt housing providers of color like myself. I must say I have been doing the right thing, keeping rents low. I am, however, concerned about the laws enacted in the future against my housing provider rights. Housing providers have been placed in a hardship position since the pandemic. I respectfully ask the council not to push this policy and that the city provide financial assistance to tenants and housing providers who were impacted by the fires, along with adding a penalty for fraud.
Thank you so much. All right, that concludes our speakers for this meeting. Mr. Clerk, we have a number of amendments for item number 13, so we'll take those up at this time.
Yes, sir. The council will now consider 13C, introduced by Councilmember Park, seconded by Councilmember Lee.
All right. 13C has been distributed. It is in front of everybody. I see no speakers on the queue, so let's open the roll on this 13C, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 5 noes.
All right. Councilmember Rahman would like to be recorded as a no.
Yeah, that doesn't.
All right. And Councilmember Jurado as well?
Yep, thank you.
To clarify the new vote, it would be 5 yeses and 7 noes.
All right, what's next?
Next before the council would be Amendment 13B.
All right, Amendment 13B is now before us. I see Councilmember Park on the All right, folks, we got to roll. We put forward a continuance. People did not want to continue. We insisted on voting today, so we got to vote. So, Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. I have a question on 13B.
Okay.
It describes this 3-month arrears process, but I'm just curious, when does it have to be paid back?
All right. The makers of this motion, 13B. Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Timeline.
It has to be paid within 12 months?
Yes.
All right. Is that in the text or, so will you take a friendly amendment that it be paid back in 12 months into the text? Councilmember Hernandez?
You can do that.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Lee.
Do we have Housing Department here to answer some of these questions?
Where does it say that? It doesn't. Where do you have it?
Hi, thank you for joining us for today. So there's a lot of different motions going around, and a lot of them talk about instead of the self-attestation that they would have to provide declaration with documentation of significant loss of income due to the 2025 fires, What does that mean?
I think it provides an, good afternoon, Councilmember Ana Ortega, Assistant General Manager of the Housing Department. I think it provides a requirement that renters provide some sort of documentation and that they declare that they've been financially impacted by the fire under penalty of perjury.
Okay, so under penalty of perjury. So I have, we all know someone who's been affected by the fires. So they moved into to the new home. They still have their job. So if they've been affected by the fires, would they be able to sign a document that says that, well, the rent is higher here, and I don't have to pay for my rent? Like, can they do that? They've been affected by fires. They lost their home, but now they're paying a little bit more for the rent than they are for their place. They've been affected by the fires. Will they be able to?
Okay, so this is all shifting very quickly, and we don't know what the final ordinance will say. So, when the city attorney writes, whatever it's going to be, we'll get some of the details. But I would not interpret the situation that you're describing. Yes, they've been financially impacted by the fire, but to the extent where they have a loss of income, not necessarily higher expenses. But again, we need to see what the final ordinance is so that we can define the parameters.
I agree with you. So just because, colleagues, this was written, because this is put in front of us, there is nothing set in place. I thought this work would be done in committee to actually define how are people going to not abuse this like they did the eviction moratorium, yet something is not in place. On top of that, if we say people are affected by fires, what protections do we get? We're trying to help people affected by the fires find housing. What protections do we give those people? If I'm a landlord and I'm renting out one of my units, if I find out that they're affected by the fires and that they can use this to not pay me rent next month, what incentive does that give me to open up my ADU, to open up maybe something, an additional room, if they can just turn around and say, no, I've been affected, this is not. Those are the things that worry me. The unintended consequences of what we do, it really bother me. Look, colleagues, I'll say this again. There are dire unintended consequences with this policy. I know we want to help people, but this is something that will ultimately worsen Los Angeles. This housing crisis, it'll worsen it instead of alleviating it. When we did this the first time, we were not honest with people. Yes, people could be evicted, but the debt that they incurred, it didn't disappear. And in the end, we couldn't do a single thing about it. So we all point to the mass evictions that happened last February. It was because this body was not honest with people that said, yes, you don't have to pay rent for 1 year, 2 year, however long the eviction moratorium, but we did not tell them that in the end, they would have to pay all that money back or else be evicted. We are the problem. We have a motion in front of us. We had a motion in front of us, 13C, that would have put the burden on us as a city. I am tired of us facing a problem here in the city and then just saying, well, we don't want to deal with it, you deal with it. We had a motion, 13C, that was, before we had a chance to sort of look at these, to actually say, okay, can we use ULA funds to give direct assistance to people who have been affected by this fire to help them stay housed? I don't understand how that doesn't pass when it's a simple way, but we rather just say, you know what, that's our money. You take care of this problem. This is, it's been called over and over. Everyone keeps saying, this is not a moratorium on evictions. This is, though, a moratorium on building more housing here in the city. It's a moratorium on investing in the city, on having the resources to provide the city with the core services that we provide. Council, please, I beg you, these things affect our budget, they affect our economy, they affect mom and pop. Everyone here says they want to help. Everyone says they want to help mom and pop landlords. It's simple. We cannot just take bad policy and then just make it less bad. By helping mom and pops, we have to vote against this item. Please, I beg you, please understand the actions that you are taking today and vote no on item 13.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Park.
Council President, I just have a few questions for the Housing Department.
Folks who are shouting out, please be silent. This is your first warning to everybody shouting out. Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. A few questions for the Housing Department. Thank you for being here today. First, when a landlord terminates a tenancy, are they supposed to provide some kind of a written notification to the Housing Department?
Yes, so a landlord, right now we have in 2013, the council approved the eviction filing. So a landlord must file all eviction notices with the housing department within 3 days of serving to the tenant. And also all no-fault evictions must be filed with the department as well.
Okay. How many notices of termination has the Housing Department received since February 1st?
I don't think I have those numbers.
We don't have that information right this moment. They were averaging about 1,000 notices a week prior.
Prior what? When, in January or prior when?
So actually, it's an average of 1,500 a week.
I would
That's the
say
beginning.
throughout 2024.
So the data for January is 1,500 a week.
Honestly, we would have to go look at the records, but throughout the 2024, we were receiving about 1,500 per week. Mind
But
you, these are not necessarily evictions that are carried out. They're notices that, basically notices to pay rent or they would face eviction.
They could be like 3-day notices to pay rent or quit, 3-day to perform or quit, those types of notices.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like we have any data that captures specific number of evictions since January 7th that may be related, or I guess it would be February 1st, related to fire hardships.
No, not due to fire hardships. We certainly could tell you week by week since January 1st how many notices have been filed. But it would tell you, for instance, for non-payment of rent, it wouldn't tell you that the person that didn't pay the rent had fire
So we really,
impact.
just so I'm clear, we don't really have any clear data about how many tenants are impacted or facing actual or threatened evictions because of impacts from the fires, right?
No, we do not. Just general information about evictions filed.
So I sort of thought that the point of the policy was to have data so that we could understand the facts and circumstances and make informed policy decisions rather than making them in a vacuum, but here we are. In January, I asked whether the housing department had, or any of your service providers had heard from tenants who were facing evictions from the fires. And at that time, you said you had not. Have you anecdotally heard anything from anyone since you were here last?
No, we have not.
Okay. I want to turn to ULA quickly. How much ULA revenue did we budget for this fiscal year, including last year's carryover?
Greg Good, LHD. The expenditure plan that was approved by council on December 10th of 2024 for 24-25 was for $167 million.
How, 167? How much has been expended so far this fiscal year?
I would have to go back to the actual data, but there's still cash. It's encumbered through the programs. Cash out, I'm not sure. I mean, certainly ascertainable information.
Do you have any way to estimate? Do you think it is more or less than $1 million, $5 million, $10 million?
Money out, very little thus far, because the expenditure plan was actually only approved on December 10th, though the expenditure plan was uploaded for the council file in the summer. So we haven't had authority to spend on that, and we're implementing those programs. A significant majority of what was allocated in that expenditure plan was for production programs. That's multifamily affordable housing, alternative models, acquisition rehab, home ownership, and operating assistance. That's because of the true-up that was made necessary by the year before. Production programs take time, and so we are in the process of developing NOFAs that would essentially go out to spend those dollars.
Thanks, Greg. Do you happen to know, any of you, how many ULA categories have seen no spending?
Alternative model, one, I reserve the right to correct, but I think 3 or 4. And note, please, respectfully, 3 or 4 have not had any spending. This is a reflection of expenditure categories from ULA. Alternative models for affordable housing, acquisition rehab, the development of affordable housing, home ownership, maybe, although that is about to start. Operating assistance, no. And again, that's because in the previous year's expenditure plan, we were not authorized to spend money on those programs. So that money has rolled over into 24-25. Those will be that will be coupled with the 24-25 revenue to spend on production. On the homelessness prevention programs, all of the money was spent on emergency rental assistance. In fact, all of the money on emergency rental assistance plus additional money that was moved from income support. Most of the tenant outreach and education money has been spent. We have about $3 million left, which we've identified as an opportunity to communicate with tenants about opportunities for assistance. We are literally spending now on income support, the interim income support program, which this council approved as well, which took time to get set up and established. And we have spent very little on tenant harassment because we have been going through the hiring process. Most of the tenant harassment money is actually for staffing, and it has taken close to a year to get those positions staffed up. That cash will start going out. Lastly, on eviction defense and prevention, we have spent significant, many millions there and are continuing to, and that's encumbered.
All right, thanks, Greg. I have a presentation from yesterday's ULA Oversight Committee that mentions an additional category, and if you mentioned it and I didn't hear it, I apologize, but the spending is 0, and that's short-term emergency assistance.
Spending is 0 because that category was zeroed out. Short-term emergency assistance pursuant to the measure is to get 5% of annual revenue. In the first fiscal year expenditure plan for ULA, 23-24, this council directed, and the mayor approved, us to spend more than that 5%. It allocated $18 million of the authorized $150 million to spend. In addition, coming off of the eviction moratorium expiration at the beginning of 2024, This council reallocated $18 million from the income support for rent burden at-risk seniors and persons with disabilities expenditure category to short-term emergency assistance. So we then ultimately spent $30 million, which should have been more like 12. That's why in the subsequent expenditure plan, which y'all approved in December of this past year, consistent with direction from council, direction from the city attorney, and direction from the mayor and the Citizen Oversight Committee, we trued up to make sure that the expenditure plan for 24-25 moved us towards compliance with the law. In the process of truing up, because we had so overspent on short-term emergency assistance, that expenditure category is zeroed out for 24-25 and most likely 25-26, contingent on what revenue looks like. That is, again, at the direction of council, the direction of the mayor, at the direction of the COC, and of the city attorney, in pursuance of making sure that we essentially true up to what we're required to do under the law. So it's zero because we don't have any money in the 24-25 expenditure plan to spend on that category.
It looks like from the ULA the oversight presentation, it looks like even with the expenditure allocations, there is still currently a balance of $267 million in change. Is that right?
In pure cash, yes. But again, I would just flag a significant, a major portion of that is allocated towards the production programs, pursuant with the law and the requirements under the percentages prescribed by that law. Spending money on production takes time. We were only authorized to begin that process on December 10th of 2024. We have immediately gone into the process of developing notices of funding availability. We hope to have what we are calling a supernova before this council, before the end of, before recess. It takes time to develop NOFAs and then to get them on the street and all of that.
Makes sense. So what is, after those anticipated expenditures, what's the available balance?
I can't, I'm not good at math, council member, but I'm, if I'm guessing, what we will have left, for one thing, is $14.6 million in the income support for rent burden at-risk seniors and persons with disabilities, which, as everyone I think is aware, allows us to provide assistance to households with persons or with seniors or persons with disabilities at 50% AMI or below, which we have recommended to be used to serve and to help provide emergency assistance. There's nothing left for short-term emergency assistance. There is money. In terms of actual cash, I think there's still in the teens for eviction defense, but that's committed via the contract with Stay Housed LA for eviction defense and prevention. Again, 3.6 for tenant outreach and education, which we also strongly recommend be used to communicate to tenants about everything that's happening here, JCO, et cetera. And then anti-tenant harassment, where staffing has been realized. The platform that we committed to has been realized, and that cash will be going out imminently. And I think I covered them all.
All right, thanks, Greg. Colleagues, we have funding available. We have an opportunity to take this burden off of the backs of our housing providers. We've already secured over $10 million in assistance from the state for displaced workers, including housing assistance and temporary job placements. We don't have any data at all in front of us to show, do we actually have a problem? And if so, how widespread is it? What kinds of narrowly tailored interventions could we create that actually addresses this problem? We're nearly halfway into February at this point, and we can't even look at any data to help us inform a policy decision that could have wide-ranging significant impacts. We actually have about $160 million in ULA revenue that is gone unspent this fiscal year. And if there was ever an emergency that warranted using it under circumstances like this, it's now. But we already took the vote on utilizing that funding, and we continue to put ourselves in this position of having to make policy without good data, and we've all seen repeatedly what the outcomes of that are. Thank you, Council President.
Councilmember Rahman appears to be gone. Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you, Council President. I just, as we continue to have this lively debate, Council never ceases to amaze me how interesting it is to be here in my short months here. But I think, we can't be lost on that we're talking about real people who are unhoused, who have been affected, and the way that I've been heard it talked about today is as if these people do not exist and they're invisible abusers of the system when they're actually real people in our districts. And here we're trying to get to a solution. And so, we went through the process. We went through committee, we made a compromise, and we were bringing it to the floor. And let's just be clear here, this is not a blanket moratorium. It is not. It's a misnomer. It's an affirmative defense that once the landlord puts a writ, look, I'm an eviction defense attorney. We go through the process. You can still fire your eviction proceeding, and then the tenant, it's on them to affirmatively defend. But, as we continue to debate this topic, I think we've put our values out here, and I'm asking for us to call the question.
All right,
Thank you.
the council members call the question. There are 3 people on the queue who have not spoken yet, so they have to be given the opportunity to speak. Mr. City Attorney.
So actually, if there's a motion to call the question, it requires a second to that motion. It is not debatable. Because everybody has not had the opportunity to speak twice yet, it requires 10 votes to pass. But as the council president has noted, there are some people who are looking to speak for the first time. So is there a second to the motion, Jurado, to call the question?
Councilmember Rahman. Councilmember Rahman. Seconded.
Okay, so then it is not debatable. It's received a second, and then it requires 10 votes to pass.
All right, let's open the roll on calling the question.
Just to clarify, so if you have not spoken and you wish to speak, then you should vote no on this motion to call the question.
All right, let's open the roll on this, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
8 ayes, 3 no.
The call to question has failed.
All right, next speaker is Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. We've had an opportunity to explore this for weeks now. It's been at council and it's gone through the committee process. Colleagues, you had an opportunity during the committee process to voice your concerns. And after weeks of delays and deliberation, we're still waffling over whether to protect some of our most vulnerable people in our city. We introduced this motion on January 14th with an urgency clause because our city had just gone through one of the worst natural disasters in our history. We saw the writing on the wall. We knew that rent gouging would run rampant. We knew that thousands of people who just lost their jobs and were suddenly wondering how they would be able to pay their rent. We knew that we were facing a second wave to our eviction crises. And since that time, this motion has been cut and amended and whittled down. This is not the same motion y'all had in front of you. It's a completely different motion, but still with protections that are incredibly vital for our city. What we have before us is truly the bare minimum that we can offer people, and this body needs to make a decision. Are we gonna delay protecting people impacted by the fires, or are we gonna stand up for working class people that have been impacted by the fires? This is about using the power of the government to protect the working people of this city. This is about living up to the responsibility we have all been charged with to care for the most vulnerable among us. I'm asking that you stand with people impacted by the fires in your districts and throughout the city and vote to move this forward. Please, colleagues, take a look at the amendments. The amendments are not calling for a blanket-wide eviction moratorium. There's nothing in there about rent increases, nothing. This is just a small Band-Aid to help folks stay in their housing so that more people don't fall into this eviction to homelessness pipeline that then we got to argue how we're going to fund and fix. Thank you, colleagues. I ask for your
Councilmember Rahman. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. You know, Ms. Hernandez, the idea that some of the very same housing providers aren't part of the working families that we're trying to protect is already a false narrative. Because many of these individuals are the same immigrant families that have built generational wealth, that have become the very housing providers that we constantly rely on, and that were strung out during COVID before we actually introduced any protections or assistance to help them cover the gaps. Because the reality is, all of these protections it's perfect that we're doing it on Valentine's Day because it's a love letter to BlackRock. This is a Valentine's for all of those corporatized housing interests that are ready to gobble up when these people can't pay their mortgages and they go into default. That's who's waiting in the wings to gobble up these properties. And we find ourselves here in this same cycle of providing these protections for individuals. And, you know, Greg just finished going through all of the litany of investments that we are making, not to mention the fact that this council was celebrating instituting the most aggressive tenant protections in the nation. And yet here we are again, expecting the same individuals that have been saddled with the burden of providing the housing absent, because let's be honest, ULA hasn't built a stick of friggin' housing. So how are we continuing to have a conversation around obligating the very same people that we depend on to provide this housing to bear that financial burden over and over and over again? It's like we're not learning this lesson. Well, some of us aren't learning the lesson. A lot of us understand it. But it's absolutely foul that we continue to do that and erode the generational wealth that so many families rely on in order to help make it as part of this struggling middle class. And I've seen it happen repeatedly. There is no distinction or differentiation between who you're trying to aid and who is being wounded in these policies. There is no distinction between the ownership of these when we're instituting these policies. So with that, so I look forward to a time when we have a conversation to really truly delineate that difference so that we can get to the root of it. But the reality is that we have instituted a number of protections for these individuals that find themselves vulnerable, whether it was through myself and Councilmember Padilla standing up our own fire-related financial resources to support these families that have been exposed to job loss or, frankly, even just some of the financial losses that they incurred as a result of the power outages that occurred during the mass wildfires and the windstorms. So we do a lot of that support. We do a lot of those things. But to the Housing Department's own presentation just last year, one of the greatest obstructions to new housing starts, and we already know we are at an all-time low for housing starts, is the lack of ability to know with great certainty what their bottom line is going to be. No one is incented to construct new housing in Los Angeles as a result of our continuance to play this game. And it needs to stop. Because the only thing we're continuing to do is exacerbate an already irritated problem, is that we don't have sufficient housing supply. We know that to be the case. But instituting policies like this doesn't aid us in our ability to create a hospitable environment to build more housing in the city, and that is a fact. So, colleagues, I continue to be disappointed. The idea that we could allocate a small portion of the ULA funds to help aid in this conversation to mitigate some of the impact, the fact that that can't even really be fully embraced, to me, again, is another twist of the knife for the housing providers, for mom and pop landlords that I know are hamstrung to the lenders that, again, will not give any forgiveness for the fact that they're not collecting rent. They will be the ones who end up having their properties foreclosed on. And I will tell you, having lived and watched from the 2008 recession, what the aftermath was, that's when you saw the greatest spike in the corporatization of our housing stock. And so we stand to see that all over again, unnecessarily, but forced by the policies, the reckless policies like this.
Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Council President. I just want to speak on a couple items. I'll try to be brief, I promise. I just want to sort of center the issue that we're all trying to address here, or at least some of us are trying to address, is that people who significantly lost income, should they have some sort of protection? That's the issue we're trying to get to. And it requires urgency because we do have data about the city of Los Angeles. I know the housing department doesn't have it in front of them right now, but I'm very privileged to have a team that has been built out to support tenants. And so we get that list every single week, so thank you for sending it. And those numbers have jumped. And I'm happy to share that data with anyone here at the Horseshoe. The housing department said we previously had about 1,500 filed evictions for failure of payment of rent per month. This week's data is up to 2,400. So it jumped significantly. So the effects are already happening. So if you want to look at the numbers, look at the numbers. We also had testimony from so many of working class people here today that are saying, many of them who are represented by their unions, who said their members are going to them saying that we're falling behind our rent, we're already losing work. So we can look at the numbers, we can look at the testimony. I look also at the constituent calls that I get. It is happening right now. People talking about ULA, I don't understand why we keep talking about ULA to find the money. Even if we had the money, our department is saying that it's going to take 8 months to get that money out. Am I correct? 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. That, even if we had the money, it's not going to go out fast enough. So what we need to do in this moment is look at what we have in front of us. And I think it's a decent compromise. And people might disagree with me. Some people in the Horseshoe might disagree with. Because it is focusing on the people who were already living in their apartment when the fires happened. That assuaged many of the concerns that we had from the council member from the 12th district. It caps how much rent debt people can accrue. That's in Amendment 13B to 3 months of fair market rent. They have to show proof that they had a loss of income, something that the House Department is going to do. We know that there is a verification process, which is another part that's important in this. And by the way, on top of all this, if some of the small landlords here or corporate landlords, where they're listening, you can still go through an eviction process. Nothing stops you from doing that. So if you're really concerned about that, if you're concerned about it, you can still go through the process. So I believe that what we have here with the amendments is narrowly tailored to address the issue in a responsible way, which will give us the opportunity to then work on getting the money out. This is not one thing that we're doing and that's it. I think the appetite of this council is to do multiple things, but right now, because we know we can't get that money out for 6 to 8 months, we have to do something. The evictions are already happening. I already gave the numbers, so that's what we're really voting on. So I don't understand why this is so controversial. Come back and support the ULA, all this energy, come back and support ULA, but I think what we're doing is correct.
Councilmember Blumenfield. Mr. Against the Pillar, you've been worn with the baseball cap.
Okay. I'm someone who's very torn on this issue. And I tell you, you talk about the process. We have a process. We went to committee. I offered an amendment to the original one. I thought the moratorium thought was problematic for a lot of reasons. This is much better as a compromise. It's close to what I proposed. In committee, I had all the concerns that have been raised about doing this year-long eviction. I didn't think that was fair. I didn't think we could really even legally do that with property rights. But, so I put forward, okay, well, we currently give people a 1-month grace period before evictions are allowed. Let's move that to 2 months. That happened, and I also said we should remove the no-fault evictions piece, because frankly, I don't think that's even legal for us to be preventing that. We're only talking about, in this case, item 2, the no-fault eviction other than a government issue to vacate, basically means preventing owners from going back into their units. I don't think we can legally do that, nor should we do that. So I had an issue with that. I had an issue with the extent of it, so I tried to limit it to 2, and then my colleague said, well, how about if we compromise and move it up to 3? And I stretched and said, okay, let's do it at 3. But the other piece to that is we talked about documents, and we were going to try to come up with a list of documents, because I am very uncomfortable with the attestation and sort of this generic proof. I think that needs to be much more clearly delineated. So there's a number of things on here that get very close, but I'm not there yet in terms of the way this ultimately comes down. You mentioned the process. I wanted to work it out in committee and get more information. I was outvoted, and it moved forward. So here, I recognize that we've got a compromise that is not that far off from what I put forward in committee, but I'm not ready to go with it today. So I'm a no on this.
All right, so everybody that wants to speak once has done so. So members, if we're fine, I want to call the question on this amendment.
Okay, so, yes. So is there a second to that motion? So it's Councilmember Jurado. And again, since there's a couple options here. So since everybody hasn't had the opportunity to speak twice, the vote threshold is still technically 10 votes. However, if everybody is waiving their right to speak for a second time, then it would be 8 votes, Mr. President.
All right. How do we document that people are waiting? There's only one person on the queue.
Right. So I don't know if Councilmember Hernandez is willing to waive her right to speak a second time. Otherwise, if she is not, then it would be 10 votes would be the threshold.
All right, Councilmember Hernandez. All right, let's vote. I'm asking you to waive your right to speak twice.
So you'd like to clarify, so the question's been called, which is not debatable. So because she's not waiving her right to speak twice, it would be 10 votes to pass, Mr. President.
All right. All right, she's waived. So we have nobody on the queue.
And it would be 8 votes to pass.
All right, so let's open the roll on calling the question, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 1 no.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Blumenfield is recorded as a yes. All right, so we have a moment of unity here. All right, so Mr. Clerk, can you read what's before us?
Yes, Mr. President. Before the council is Amendment 13B, introduced by Councilmember Hernandez, seconded by Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
All right, that item is now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 4 noes.
Amendment 13B has failed. And just to clarify, for 13C, that amendment has failed as well.
All right, what's next?
Before the council is Amendment 13A, introduced by Councilmember Hutt, seconded by Councilmember Harris Dawson.
All right, seeing no speakers, let's open the roll on this item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 4 no.
Amendment 13A has also failed.
All right, so now we have all of 13.
So, Mr. President, I believe that Councilmember Yaroslavsky has asked to recuse on recommendations 6 and 7. My recommendation to make sure that she can be a part of the larger item would be to take just recommendations 6 and 7 up now as she recuses.
All right, recommendations 6 and 7, Councilmember Jurado.
13A, that was moved by Councilmember Hutt and seconded by Council President. Can I be recorded as a yes?
Okay?
Sorry, thank you.
So that changes the outcome. I think we have to retake the vote.
Yes, Council President, to reconsider the item, the prevailing members will need to reconsider the item because that will change the outcome of the vote.
All right, so on your amendment, we have to revote because there's a vote to reconsider the Yaroslavsky amendment. So let's open the roll on reconsideration. I'm sorry, Hutt. Sorry, Hutt. 13A, Councilmember Hutt. Open the roll on reconsideration. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
8 ayes, 3 noes.
Mr. President, we need a second on the reconsideration.
I'll second the reconsideration. All right, do we need to vote again?
And the mover was,
Councilmember Jurado, seconded by Harris Dawson.
unfortunately, Councilmember Jurado cannot move to reconsider the item because she was part of the,
Councilmember Hutt moves to do it. Councilmember Harris Dawson seconds.
understood. It would be best to take another vote.
All right, we're going to open the roll on reconsideration. Close the roll on reconsideration.
8 ayes, 3 noes.
All right, and so now that amendment is before us. Let's open the roll on the Hutt amendment. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
8 ayes, 3 noes.
Amendment 13A has passed.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so now that we are done with the amendments, I recommend that we bifurcate recommendations 6 and 7, as Councilmember Yaroslavsky has requested to recuse on this item. And then once she leaves the room, I have an announcement just for this council as we go into this discussion, Mr. President.
All right, item 6, Councilmember Yaroslavsky has recused for items 6 and 7.
So members, this discussion is largely about mom and pop landlords. Because there's a bifurcation with regards to the recusal, if you would like to speak about anything related to the mom and pop portion of recommendation 6 or 7, please do so now before Councilmember Yaroslavsky rejoins us. Thank you.
All right, I see no speakers on the queue. Can we open the roll on those items? Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Recommendation 6 and 7 for item 13 has passed.
All right, we'll bring Councilmember Yaroslavsky back. What's before us now?
Before the council would be the remainder of the recommendations for item 13 as amended by amending motion 13A without 6 and 7, without recommendation 6 and 7.
All right, so that item is before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 4 noes.
Mr. Blumenfield? This is the underlying item.
I'm pressing my no button, but it's not.
All right, so we'll reopen the roll.
So just to clarify, the vote was, wait, did we?
7-4.
The vote was 7-4 and the item has failed.
Yeah, but his vote did not register.
Incorrectly, yes.
Okay. Because Councilmember Blumenfield's vote did not register, we will take another vote on this item.
All right, the underlying item, the whole thing, minus 6 and 7. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 4 noes.
All right, this motion fails. Councilmember Lee, did you get? Councilmember Lee is on here as a yes. Did you intend to be a yes?
To change, to allow him to vote?
This is the whole thing.
I'm a no.
All right, so let's
I pressed my button.
reopen the roll.
Just to clarify for the council,
All right, so can we record Mr. Lee as a no vote without doing a revote? Because it doesn't change the outcome.
it does not change the outcome.
All right, so what's the final tally?
The final vote would be yes 6, no 5.
Got it. This motion fails. All right, what's next? Mr. Lee.
Mr. President, can I make a motion to receive and file this item?
There we go.
All right, without objection, that'll be the order. What's next? We have to
need
vote on, Mr. Lee, we need a second on your receive and file. Seconded by Councilmember Rodriguez.
Okay, and just to clarify, so items, recommendation 6 and 7 passed.
Yes, right.
So recommendations 6 and 7 by themselves passed while Councilmember Yaroslavsky was recused. So I want to clarify the motion to receive and file, that is Lee, and who was the second on that?
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Okay, is to receive and file.
Item 13 without 6 and 7 as amended by 13A.
Okay, so there is a motion with a second to receive and file item 13 minus 6 and 7. I understand that. So with that motion, it requires a vote now on receiving and filing. So if you would like to receive and file item 13 with not including recommendation 6 and 7, then vote yes. If you wish to not receive and file item 13 minus 6 and 7, then vote no.
All right, let's open the roll on that question, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
8 ayes, 3 noes.
All right,
The matter has been received and filed.
all right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 4, 12, and 14.
All right, those items are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, what's next? Councilmember Rahman?
Sorry, I didn't realize we were still voting on item 13 again.
I don't think we were. That was, our last vote wasn't on 13. Oh, to receive and file? You all want to the two of you want to be recorded as no votes?
But we already lost it.
Hmm?
Okay, so I just voted no on, I'd like to be recorded as a no vote for Councilmember Lee's motion to receive and file.
All right,
Because that changes the outcome of the vote, and this is stating that Councilmember Rahman would like to change her vote from a yes to a no. The item will need to be reconsidered
all right, so let
with
Councilmember Hurtado.
with the second.
Pardon me?
I move to reconsider.
All right, so we have a motion to reconsider the receive and file. I'll second the motion to reconsider the receive and file. Let's open the roll on reconsidering the receive and file. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Oh, okay, sorry. Can we, hold on.
So just to clarify for the council, because the outcome of the receive and file was 8 yeses and 3 nos, and Councilmember Rahman would like to reconsider her vote as a yes to a no, she is part of the prevailing side and will need a second to reconsider. And I believe that Councilmember Hernandez is the second. So the vote before the council now would be to reconsider receiving and filing item 13 with the recommendations with 13A, amending motion 13A, and without recommendations 6 and 7.
So a yes vote is to receive and file. A no vote is to keep the file open.
Mr. President, a yes vote would be to reconsider the matter, and a no vote would not reconsider the item.
Okay, let's open the roll, Close the roll, tabulate the vote. All right, so now we are voting on reconsideration.
No, sir, the reconsideration vote was just taken with 8 ayes and 2 noes, so the item is up in front of council again. And that
So-
would be item 13, as amended by 13A, without recommendations 6 and 7.
And a yes vote is to receive and file, a no vote is to keep the file open? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I just want to make sure everybody, before the vote's called, if,
Mr. Blumenfield, you have a question?
We're voting on.
so just, I know there's been a lot of different motions made, so just to be clear, I'm going to repeat what the clerk's office said. This is not a vote to reconsider. This vote right now that we're about to take is on receiving and filing item 13 and 13A without recommendation 6 and 7, because 6 and 7 have already passed. So if you vote yes, it is to receive and file 13 and 13A without 6 and 7. If you vote no, it is to vote against the receiving and filing. So there's a question as to what happens if there are not enough votes to receive and file it. So to be clear, council did not pass the item itself. If there are not enough votes, and it requires 8 to receive and file it, then this would remain on the desk, and it would carry on to the next meeting. The other options that council has is they can continue this item to a date certain as well, if they don't want it to remain on the desk in perpetuity.
All right. Let's open the roll on receive and file, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
5 ayes.
The motion to receive and file has failed.
All right, what's next?
Right. So, yes, so I don't believe that we can reconsider this item today, so it's going to remain on the desk and will appear on the next council agenda.
That's correct. So before the council would be items 1 and 2, a motion by Councilmember Padilla to confirm the liens.
All right, let's open the rolls on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote. All right, what's next?
And
Councilmember Yaroslavsky?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I'd like to ask that we send item 10 forthwith, please.
All right, without objection, that'll be the order. What's next?
And Council President, there is special 1.
All right, special 1 is before us. Any speakers on the queue? Mr. Lee? Mr. Lee? All right, we got a member 30 seconds out the door. This is your motion. Anything to say on it?
Nope, just if we
All
vote
right, let's
on it.
open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote. 10 ayes. All right, what's next?
Before the council is item 3 as amended by Padilla Blumenfield.
All right, let's open the roll on that item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Ten ayes.
All right, what's next?
Mr. Council President, the council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred.
The desk
And
is
the desk is clear?
clear.
Thank you so much for confirming that. Announcements, members, announcements. Councilmember Hutt, you got a small parade that you want to tell people about?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Council President. On this Monday in Los Angeles, we will have the MLK Parade. It was postponed because of the fires, and so we're celebrating it in Black History Month on President's Day. King Boulevard to Crenshaw, we start at 10, and also be televised on ABC, but come on out, it'll be a fun day. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you so much.
And it's going to be sunshine
And
Monday
I
morning.
ordered sunshine, so don't worry about a thing.
There you go. All right. Other announcements, members? All right, seeing none, I'll ask members in the chambers to rise for adjourning motions. Any adjourning motions, members? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned for the week. Thank you all so much.